What we do here is go back.
There we go. Hopefully we should be live, possibly. Hopefully we are. Good evening, it's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the 8th of June 2024 and it feels like it's a nice summery March day. Not quite June yet, but getting very close. Hopefully you're all very well. Let me know if you can see me and or hear me. Hopefully everything is working. It should be. All good in syncs is ready, Bob. Thank you very much. Video, audio fine and in sync. Great stuff. Let's just try the overhead camera. Make sure that's working okay. Yep, looks to be fine. Yep, it's focusing, all that kind of usual stuff. Good, good, good. So, it's been a somewhat interesting week in terms of Computex, which I'm sure some of you have probably been tuning into. Although I do feel that it's starting to kind of lose its shine a little bit. There's been some nice things, some interesting new developments, but mostly it's been kind of more of the same. So there's not been anything to really get overly excited about, I feel personally. But please do let me know what you think in that comment section. After all, that is what it's for. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, things you're going to buy, things you're looking at, things which have impressed you. And also we've got a super chat coming from Morali straight up there. Thank you very much. Yes, Mike is live and all working. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. There was one a little bit earlier as well from Rick as well. Disco, taking over from Ugly Bob there, who's still on his holidays. Thank you very much, Rick H, for your $2 contribution. Much appreciated. And thank you for those of you that are joining us tonight, because it is, being that we are a UK-based channel, and I'm guessing predominantly most of our viewers are UK, and yeah, it's been quite a nice day today. So if you're taking some time out in the garden, chilling, and you're going to catch up later on the video on demand, I don't blame you at all. And given the choice, I'd probably do the same myself. The sun is setting in the garden at the moment. It's quite peaceful out there, a nice little breeze, so yeah, quite enjoyable. So yes, if you can't make us for the live stream, I totally appreciate it, and I think you're probably doing the right thing, to be honest with you. So hello to all of you in the chat. JB's hello, a goodbye and good luck. Making supper for myself. Take care, Mike Calf, Cats, Fam and Yol. Thank you very much. JB27, who is one of the Jameses. One of the James Bros. James Brock. I hope you don't mind me saying your name, but there you go. Zero Defect says, cold here in Scotland. It's been cold here pretty much all week. I think there's been probably maybe one day where you could sit outside and it was kind of nice, it was enjoyable, but most days it's just been grey, dismal, not very good at all. There's a super chat from Jason Woods as well, £5, thank you very much. It says, party, party, party. Well, we're not going to be quite partying, but we'll probably have some interesting things to talk about. And also, those of you that watched the video on Friday, yesterday, it was recorded a couple of weeks ago, so you know what it is, like the videos stack up. So that was the one that went on Friday, and still I have not had a, well, I'll tell a lie. One person on Discord did actually message me and say, Mike, I'm very interested in the PC. How much is it currently going for, and how much would it cost for shipping? Now, unfortunately, due to the nature of the case itself being predominantly glass, dual-sided, and also there's basically a stack of boxes to go with it for all the spare parts, the controllers, the motherboard, the graphics card, all that stuff. Because I keep all the boxes for everything, as I know most of you probably do as well. So actually sending it would be actually quite a difficult thing. And I don't know if I actually trust any UK postal service to actually send a PC in transit. Because I've seen what happens to cases, and they're empty. So God only knows what happens to a PC unless you package the bejesus out of it which I don't have the facilities to do. So unfortunately, I've had to decline that offer. So technically I've had one offer for the PC at the moment, but it's had only around about got to try and think now. Yeah, about 70 to 100 clicks on it, on the advertisement, which I only put on a couple of days ago, to be fair, and not a single message, not even lowballs, which I was expecting someone to say, oh, 500 quid in a Mars bar. Not happened as of yet. So interesting hearing actually your comments on the video on Friday. And if you haven't watched the video on Friday, just open up another tab and get the video open and have a look at it, and you'll see what the PC is all about. You'll obviously be seeing it shortly anyway. But it's actually a really nice little PC. There have been some constructive criticisms and actually some very valid points, which some of you already raised in the comments section, which I am going to take on board. And I'll be honest, there's elements about this PC build that I'm not entirely happy with. So I can understand why people aren't jumping up and down and trying to throw their money at me to get this PC, even though technically it is actually a bargain. It really is. But technically it's secondhand. I'm not an official business reseller as such, so I can't offer things like warranties and all that kind of stuff. Although I do say to people, if you're buying a PC from us here at Mike's Unboxing, essentially any problems, I'm available. I will help you out with them. I don't charge for that at all. And also, for the life that you keep the PC, if you want any upgrades done or need any repairs done, we will do them for you free of charge. Although there is the caveat that if possible, I will be filming the process, obviously, to try and recoup some of the costs on YouTube, which I think is pretty understandable. For basically a free warranty and free repairs and free upgrades, I think that's a pretty good deal.
Parts before the upgrades.
Sorry, Kath.
They have to pay for parts for the upgrades.
Yeah, they have to pay parts for upgrades, yes.
Nano Reels.
Did you get the CPU from AliExpress? Yes, I did. In fact, I've actually got about 4 of those processors from AliExpress now. And actually, that is something which I would very much like to acknowledge straight away. So somebody in the comment section said about the PC not having a warranty. Okay, yeah, I understand that. And also using AliExpress parts. At which point I stepped back for a bit and I thought to myself, what is the preconception of buying things from AliExpress? And generally it's not an overly positive view. It's some mysterious place in China where they ship stuff from. Essentially AliExpress is kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like Amazon. So they sell stuff themselves, but other sellers sell on AliExpress as well, using the AliExpress banner as a big kind of market stall. Now, AliExpress, for those of you who don't know, they do some really good stuff, really good prices, and also they do actually a very good warranty system. So if you get any problems, generally it'll get sorted out. The trouble is there's always a delay because it's a Chinese site, Chinese sellers. Their time zone is very different from ours. So if you send a message on their instant messaging board, it generally takes like a day or so to get back to you, which I think is better than some in the UK, to be fair, but that's by the by. But they also have very good kind of guarantees. So if something doesn't turn up, AliExpress will generally kind of step in and take over and see what's going on. And more times than not, they will just refund your money. Now, I think a lot of people are under the misconception that if you're buying something from China, you're not protected, you've got no comeback and all that kind of stuff. And to some extent, you're kind of right. But AliExpress is a massive company. They don't want to tarnish their brand any more than the already public perception of their brand. So they actually are very much customer focused. So if you do get a problem, generally they will kind of step in, like I said, and do whatever they need to do to either rectify the situation, get a replacement part, or give you a full refund, or even sometimes a partial refund if there's some sort of haggling going on and it's kind of a 50-50 thing where it's difficult to prove one way or the other. Then generally you can get also a partial refund, as I have done previously for a graphics card which turned up with broken fans, which to send back to China would be prohibitively expensive considering how much the card cost. So AliExpress stepped in, and between myself and the seller, they mediated it, and we arranged that I would get a partial discount based on what it would cost to fix and all that kind of stuff. And essentially I bought some fans off AliExpress to replace it, and it was all good. So I was actually quids in because they refunded almost all of the price of the video card, and it cost me very little to fix it. Now, I get it, not all of you are going to be in a position where you have the technical abilities to do that kind of stuff, so I do get it. There are some concerns there, but generally they are very good and do look after their customers. Also, I do say if you're buying anything from AliExpress, it's a really, really good idea to use either a credit card or to use PayPal, because again, PayPal are extremely customer focused. Anyone who's used PayPal on eBay before now, when you could just say, right, something didn't arrive, almost immediately PayPal would put the money back into your account and the seller would be screwed. So as a customer, you're actually really well protected from buying on AliExpress. So I just wanted to make sure that people are actually aware of that, and if you haven't used them before, then I would say just go for it, have a stab. There are some things on there which are exceptionally good value, especially at the moment, the Ryzen AM5 processors. So yeah, I took offense to the fact that someone suggested that AliExpress, buying parts from AliExpress, would be a downside or a negative. Now in terms of warranty, potentially I suppose you could argue that, but it was almost as if they were inferring that the parts were somehow inferior, when generally, now I'm not going to say this is all the time, but pretty much 99% of the time, the parts are exactly the same as what you'd buy here in the United Kingdom or the United States or in Europe or wherever else. So the stigma attached to buying from AliExpress, I think it's one of those things that actually does need addressing, because you can get some seriously good value bargains on there. As we all know, graphics cards, CPUs, that kind of stuff. There have been issues where people have ordered things like flash drives or RAM, those kind of things where they've turned out to be like fakes or whatever. It happens, but then that happens on Amazon, that happens on eBay, that happens on Craigslist, it happens everywhere, even down the computer market in your local town. So it's not as if it's a thing which is isolated just to AliExpress. So yeah, I did kind of take offense to that, but that was the only comment really which was on the video which I thought to myself, no, that's a little bit out of order, using that kind of Chinese trash kind of perception.
Didn't we have to return it to a UK address anyway?
That is very true, actually. For a lot of a lot of AliExpress returns, when you do actually do a return, because they have like a distribution center in the UK for a lot of these larger companies, especially the ones that sell CPUs. So my return label was actually going to somewhere, I think it was in, I've got to think about this now. I can't think of the address. It was somewhere in the UK, somewhere up north. Well, north of Gloucester anyway. So it was somewhere in the UK to return it to. So it wouldn't have cost me an absolute fortune to send it back to them. They then take your parcel and then either fix it, return it, do whatever, or they send it back to the AliExpress sellers and yeah, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I was a little bit taken back by that. Although other comments have been actually very positive, giving me some good ideas and also some suggested modifications to the PC system. Just a couple of those which we will be addressing tonight in the stream. So the first one was the fans. Well, not the first one, but the first one that I'm thinking of. The fans. Someone said, well, why are you putting 60 quid's worth of fans or 100 quid's worth of fans into the PC? Surely you could put in other fans which would cost considerably less, and that would therefore reduce the overall cost, which actually I think is a very good shout. And actually a good friend of the channel, Andy Archer, has sent us in, which possibly you haven't seen the review for these yet, maybe you have. These are the Jungle Leopard Prism 4 RS fans, and they've got two types. They've got a reverse blade and also they've got a traditional blade. These are kind of the Lian Li rip-offs. These cost from AliExpress somewhere in the region of about £5 each and can normally be delivered within 5 to 7 days. So actually really good value for money. For £5 each, they're really good. Now there are various clones of this which aren't as good. So you do have to kind of be careful which ones you're buying, but these specific ones from Jungle Leopard, the Prism 4 RS and the Prism 4, are very good. So highly recommended. So we will be putting those into the system. Now Ugly Bob is actually still on his holidays, but he had messaged me this week to say that he's done some drunken ordering and he's actually gone and got another couple of these each, another 2 each of these. So another 2 reverse ones and another 2 of the normal blade ones. So we'll have 10 fans in total, which is actually good because we need 9 to finish the build. So I will be asking you guys as we go along. I've actually got a CPU cooler because that is another thing which a lot of people highlighted, and actually something I wasn't overly keen on, and that is the CPU cooler that I used in there. So I used the Deepcool APNX AP1-V, which is that kind of really nice wraparound looking cooler. But the kind of the gist behind the comments was the fact that if you're spending best part of £1,000 on a PC, you'd expect a water cooling setup. You wouldn't expect to see an air cooler. And actually, yes, I agree. It was one of those things where I was thinking, what can I do to reduce costs, but also still have a good performing PC? And that cooler did fit the bill, but in retrospect, I do think an AIO would be a much better option, because a lot of people that are buying PCs don't really know the differences in most cases. So if they just see some elaborate water cooling solution, it immediately elevates the PC against those with standard air cooling, which I totally understand and I'm completely with. The only thing was I was trying to do a completely white build, which I've kind of failed relatively. So the cooler I'm going to be sticking in is this one here. So this is the Cooling Umbra Void. Now, I reviewed this on the channel ages ago. This is a black cooler, but I'm thinking that the pump head's the black bit, the tubes are going to be black, the radiator is going to be black. That'll be somewhat hidden. So possibly if we put the Prism 4 fans onto the radiator to try and remove some of this black along the top, that might be okay. Or potentially I will put them in as they are, wait for the other fans to arrive, and then swap those out at a later date and put these other ones in the other positions at the moment. So as I'm doing that, you can let me know what your thoughts are. Yes, Kath?
Nama rules. This is not off topic then.
Nama Reels, nice Rolex. I wish it was a Rolex. This is my my cheap and cheerful lookalikey.
20 quid.
20 quid from Amazon, bargain. And everyone says nice Rolex. It's a very common thing I get on the videos. People say, "Oh, nice video, thanks for watching." Blah blah. Oh, and nice watch, by the way. And it's not. It's like a 20 quid watch. But thank you, appreciate that. O'Reilly says, no need to worry about black colour and fans in a white case. Yeah, and actually some of you might have noticed already, the PC in the back is changed again. The View 270 is gone, and there's no kind of mystery or anything about it, essentially. The fans that I had in the View 270 were the SWA fans, and for some reason they were doing some weird stuff with the camera and the focus and the ISOs and all that kind of stuff. So I went back to this one, and also because I really did miss the quick easy access side opening panel, because I'm so often messing around doing stuff with the PC. I've also put my RTX 4070 Super in here now. There's a little bracket in there as well to stop the GPU sag. So yeah, I'm very happy. I think I do like the look of this. I don't like the front of it, but luckily from this angle you don't really see the front. So this works out really well for me. And again, having that quick access on the side is very beneficial to the way I work and my workflow. And for plugging in fans, I did find this week with the View 270, when I was doing some tests with these fans, it was a bit of a faff to open up the side and then gain access to the ports. Because this case is a bit bigger, it just worked out a little bit better. So yeah, that was it. Nick Barner says, is that the first Amazon watch that failed? No, this is the second one. I didn't want to buy this one because the brand of it is called Biden, which is way too close to the American political thing at the moment. So yeah, luckily the logo is very small, but I think it looks nice, and it is actually a nice watch, comfortable watch, and it was half the price of the first one, and has so far lasted longer. And I've adjusted the time and date, and the crown hasn't fallen out, so that's definitely a good thing. And it's got all the things like the bezel, which you can do timing with and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a nice watch. I like it, and because it's only 20 quid, I don't have to worry too much about it if it gets dinged or bashed or whatever. It just does what it needs to do. So anyway, that is good. Happy days. Matthew Day says, time to do watch reviews. I was tempted. I was tempted. I wanted to do a review on this watch. I wanted to do a review on the other one because I was getting a lot of positive comments from the videos, people saying they like the watch. And I thought, well, if I do a review on it, makes sense. But yeah, so far I want to see how well this one handles a little bit of kind of everyday use. So I've had it about a month or so now, possibly more. I think I bought it just after my birthday or just before my birthday, can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, it's doing well. O'Reilly says, I have the reverse, a black case and motherboard with white AIO and white case. Right, okay. Yeah, I think I've spent a little bit too much time on this PC really, going through the different bits and pieces to kind of work out what's going on. One of the other key things I'm going to do is something which is going to upset probably a large majority of you, is I'm taking out the graphics card. So the RX6800 16 gig card is coming out and it's going to be replaced with an RTX 3070. Now, that's a downgrade, I believe, personally. There's obviously going to be pros and cons. The RTX 3070 ray tracing wise is going to, yeah, walk all over the 6800. But it's that usual thing. NVIDIA owns basically the market in terms of graphics cards, and on the second-hand market, if you're selling a system, any system that's got a NVIDIA graphics card generally sells quicker than something that's got AMD. It's just the way it is, unless you're basically giving it away, which I'm not intending to do. I'm giving away a lot actually in this PC, but I'm not getting to the point where I'm giving away free graphics cards. We're not that kind of channel quite yet. So we will be doing that. The graphics card, I think, is going to be one of those things which I could just swap out the graphics card and see how things go, just to kind of test the AMD versus NVIDIA thing. That might be just what it needs, but I figured if I'm doing that, I might as well go the whole hog. I think the water cooling is a really good idea, even though it doesn't need it. The 7700 non-X processor is very, very easy to cool. You can get by with the stock cooler, to be completely honest with you, but I think putting in something a little bit more elaborate for me is fine, because either way, the all-in-one I got for free technically because it was for a review, so it hasn't cost me anything, so I can basically let that go for nothing in the PCs. Now for some of you, you're probably wondering actually, how do I come to the prices on my PCs? Now generally what I do is I just try to recover my own costs. So in this particular PC, actually, I need to grab my whiteboard. Bear with me a moment. And I'll have a slurp of my drink as well. What we got in this tea, Kath? Is this the Brewy Booze?
Yeah.
Got some Brewy Booze.
Still off caffeine.
Still no caffeine, still basically no sugar. I don't like it. It upsets me when I see chocolates. Right, where's my board? So here is my costings chart. I know it should be on a spreadsheet really, but anyway. So the Ryzen 7700 cost me £150. The motherboard cost me £150. The RAM cost me £100. The power supply cost me £50. Thanks, Dave Aitken. The GPU cost me £250. I need to write that in. Again, thank you, Dave Aitken. So £250. And the M2 1TB M.2 drive, also £50 arguably. I think I paid a little bit more, maybe 53, but I kind of round it down a little bit. So in terms of actually what this platform has cost me to purchase, is 150, so 300, 400, 450, 450, 650, 7, so 750 quid. And if I kind of work out what the value is on this side, I suppose graphics card wise, I can say 300. So that's going to drop it down from about £1,000 down to 750. So if I give the case away effectively, so that was a review sample, so I can afford to give that away. The fans, they were also review samples sent in by Andy Archer, Ugly Bob, etc. So I can take it with that because that's not going to be the CT fans. So yeah, that's zero cost really. The controller, what's that? Oh, sorry. The controller, I bought that for £10. That's the Thermalright fan controller. It was £10, so I'm already going to chuck that on the price of that. Windows is basically going to be sort of £3 or £4, whatever it is. And the CPU cooler is now going to be worth about 80, but again, I got it for free. So there's kind of like about £200 to £300 worth of stuff in the PC, which I'll just give away because I was happy enough to receive it. I don't want to make any money on it because that's a little bit unethical about review samples, I think personally. Let me know what you think. So yeah, what I'll do is basically the bits that I've got free of charge will be going free of charge. The things that I've got from Dave, like £250 I paid for the graphics card, I will sell it at £250. The power supply, £50, I will sell it for £50. So I won't be making any money at all, but the point of it is to just make back what I've actually had to pay out of my own pocket, which I think is understandable. Now, of course, with that, I still do have a little bit of leeway because we've made videos on these things. So potentially you could take into account the money made per video. Now, most of those aren't going to be a great deal. Take off the tax as well. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, tax as well. So the tax situation, obviously, when I sell this, I'll have to pay tax on earnings. So that's 33%. So ideally, I still want to sell it for £1,000 to make the extra, to make it worthwhile. But because we claim tax back on other things we buy, it all kind of works itself out in the long run. At least in my mind it does. So I'm not doing myself down too much. So if I can get $750 for it with the modifications that we've done, I might even list it for $800 and then say I'll take $750 for it. I think that's going to work out quite well. And then things like the Windows license, the fans, and the fan controller, things that I've had to pay a little bit of money for, at least I can try and recoup, again, some of those costs. It's not like this money is going back into kind of anything else other than back into the channel, buying more parts, doing more builds, trying to make more content for you guys to enjoy. So it's just keeping that circle going, which, as a lot of you will know out there, is not easy these days. Yes, Gaff?
Mookie?
Mookie. I've lost the chat thread on here. We are Mookie. Mookie, do you have to include or add on VAT when selling PC builds like this? No, because we're not VAT registered. I think for VAT registration, you've got to be turning over or earning, I think it's more than 80 to 90,000 a year. And I think it's optional at that point. I think, or is it optional? I think no. I think you can optionally register for VAT before you earn that, but I think there is a threshold of about 80 to 90,000, and we don't earn anywhere near that, so that is not a concern. So at the moment, in terms of taxation, in full disclosure, we do ours based on the kind of cash in, cash out principle. So at the end of the year, we give the taxman a yeah, basically all the money incoming. So my Sunday job that I do down in the local car spares place, all these little bits and pieces that I've sold through the year, we've got a receipt book which I fill out and put a copy of that into my receipts so it all adds up. So I total it all up, my YouTube income, everything goes in. So everything that I've earned, pretty much to the penny, as far, well, to the best of my ability and my best of my knowledge, goes on there as income. Then I list all of my outgoings, such as parts that I bought, shipping costs, any promotional stuff we do, so Mike's Unboxing t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. The tax deductibles go on, and then you take your income from your tax deductibles, and then you get a final figure, and then you pay 33% tax on that final figure. So in theory, by buying loads of stuff and reducing your end figure, you pay less tax. So that's why you get to people when they come to the end of the tax year and they're like, oh, I gotta spend this. It's because they want to spend a certain amount or a chunk of it rather than give the money to the taxman, which again is quite a sensible thing to do. Although saying that, half the time when it comes around to March and April, everything's so inflated pricey wise that anything you want to buy is kind of like really expensive. So any savings you might get, you kind of lose out on. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense.
Skystalker?
Hi Skystalker. Any parts that are given to you should be used for your benefit, Mike. You can't keep all the parts. I would like to see you getting something for them. That's very kind of you to say, Sky. It's one of those things, it doesn't sit well with me. Sometimes if I do something and I sell a PC and someone comes around to see it and they're happy with it and they want to spend the money, I'll double check the figures and I'll look at it and say, well, actually I got that for free, so I'll let them have it a bit cheaper, because ultimately I don't want to make the money on it. I just want people to have the stuff, be happy with it, get a good deal, and for me to basically clear some room, because it's a small 3-bedroom house, 1930s house. They're not very big and they don't have a lot of storage.
Bigger than new houses.
Yeah, so storage room and all that kind of stuff is a real problem. And there's another super chat from Jason Woods. Thank you very much, Jason. You did one earlier, didn't you?
Yeah.
Bless your heart. There's another £5. Says going to bed now, so I'll leave you with this super chat. Awesome, Jason. Have a good sleep, and thank you once again for super chats, both of them. Much appreciated.
And then binge.
William Bodie says no taxation without representation. I'm gonna get myself in trouble with that. Binge Games, where's that one? Oh, Binge Games. Didn't you sell it yet? Are you a freelance PC builder? I'm not really a PC builder, to be completely honest with you. PC building side of it is merely a method of me trying to clear some of the inventory we get here. And like I said, it's a small house. We don't have a lot of storage room. It's getting to the point now where I'm starting to store more and more things up in the loft space, which I don't want to do, because it just gets to the point where it just hides away there and I'll forget about it and that'll be it. Saying that, actually, we will, at some point in the coming weeks or months, I'm not too sure exactly when, we need to do some giveaways, and we need to do some other kind of ways of getting the things we have here out to you guys, the viewers. Now, I appreciate for some of you that are abroad and overseas, that's a hard thing to do because of shipping costs. But for you guys in the UK, definitely want to try and look after you. And if there's any bits and pieces that I've got which you're interested in, that you've seen reviewed, feel free to send me a cheeky DM and just ask me to say, look, I've seen this on before. Have you still got it? How much do you want for it? Sort of thing, or whatever. You might be surprised. I might turn around and say, like, it's fine, just pay the postage, you can have it. So feel free, DM me, or Kath for that matter.
I don't know anything about
Kath doesn't know anything about tech, so you're probably best off asking me, but either way, the links for the Discord is in the chat right now. So if you see a video and you like it and there's something which you don't see me kind of being in use here or up on the walls or whatever, then yeah, please do let me know, because I will be more than happy to try and help you guys out. Obviously, your viewership is what helps us out, so it's nice that we can give something back, or at least do something very cheap for you anyway. We'll see what we can do. Sky says, Mike, how about this? If you do a giveaway open to the world, if they enter and win, they pay postage.
A lot of things are more than what
Yeah,
postage is more than what it's worth.
It's a really difficult thing to do. We
Did
have
we have to post something to
we did the last giveaway.
Ireland?
The last giveaway we did for the all-in-one coolers. There was two of them. The Sahara Gaming EX360, which Ugly Bob donated. Thank you, Ugly Bob. And there was also, I did a runner-up prize of the, I think it was the InWin WR36. And it turned out that to send it to Ireland, where it went, I think it was basically,
That's about 40 quid, wasn't it?
I think it was about 40 quid to send the AIO. And the AIO isn't big. It was less than 2 kilos, I think. So it was like really expensive to send it. And like for an AIO, which the AIO I think was only about 80 to 90 pounds to buy brand new anyway. So for us to give it away and then have to pay nearly 40 quid actually to ship it, then it starts to become a burden, because not only have we got to then go through all the time and motion of making sure the postage is right, chasing it all up, doing it, taking it to the post office, all that kind of stuff, we've then got to pay a really, what I feel is a ridiculous fee to send stuff to certain places. So as much as we would love to be able to do that worldwide, and we have done in the past when things were different economically around the world, such as when we did the Nokia's earbuds, and lots of those things, we sent out 10, 20, 30 sets of those things to various places all around the globe. and most of them were like £2, £3, £4 to send at most. So, sorry, not globe, flat Earth, under the dome. We sent those out, and they were really cheap to do. A couple of quid at most. I think the worst one I think was somewhere like Morocco or something, where it's like £12 or $12 or something. But it was relatively inexpensive. But when it starts costing like 40 quid to send something, it kind of takes the shine off it. It does for us. Anyway, and kind of we want to enjoy what we're doing. Don't want it to be a burden, if that makes sense. Glenn. I can't see Glenn.
Cost us £175 to ship to India that one time.
Oh God, where's that? Did he put that in there?
Sorry?
Did he put that in there?
Yeah.
I can't see it. Where is it? Is that further up?
It's not too far from the bottom.
Oh, I'm in top chat, not bloody live chat. Sorry. That's my mistake. There we go. That's better. Yeah, there was... sometimes these things do kind of bite you in the ass. So yeah, we all kind of clubbed. There was somebody who was in our Discord who basically wanted to game on a PC, was struggling on a laptop. I think I recall it was about 3-4 years ago now. So my mind might be not quite right, but yeah, they were in there quite often talking about it, and Glenn and a couple of the others decided to have a kind of whip around. So we all chipped in various amounts to build like a decent-ish PC. Then shipping it to India or wherever it was cost a ridiculous amount as well, like oh yeah, 175 quid to ship to India. And the PC I think was probably only worth about 300 or 400 or so back then. I think, I'm not too sure exactly, but it was kind of cobbled together a little bit. It was a nice PC, but it was cobbled together. And then he got the PC, and I think probably less than a month or so later, his parents bought him a brand new PC with like a 3090 or something in there back in the time, which was like a top range card or something.
But he didn't even have a postal address apparently, did he? Wasn't it all a bit strange?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
you had to do it to the local
yeah,
shop
we had to send the parcel. I think it was to like a local shop rather than to his address. It was very strange. Anyway, so yeah, that is kind of where we're at with the giveaways, and basically the way that I price up the PC, so that it's basically just to recover my costs. Now, of course, like I said, some of the videos do quite well and we get quite a few views, so obviously there is a little bit of generated income on those, so we can take a little bit of a hit. And obviously some videos, as they go on and on and on, they gain more views, so they're kind of like, some of them are not quite evergreen content, but they grow as time goes on. Some videos we just put out and they die straight away and they're forgotten about. That's why we make so many, because that way we can afford to do a scattergun approach, do a bunch of videos. Some of them are going to be okay and generate some income, others are going to be basically pointless. But hopefully you will enjoy them nonetheless, because we kind of enjoy making them. It's just disappointing when some of them don't do as well as you'd hope them to, but I guess that is life. Which actually leads me on to the next part of this. So, because this is a Micro-ATX platform, which ideally I didn't want to do anyway, I don't enjoy doing Micro-ATX as a platform. I think it's just too limiting overall. There are some nice Micro-ATX cases, but generally there's always something about them, and I think they always seem to fall into some sort of weird category in terms of pricing. Because when you consider Micro-ATX, for me personally, I don't know about you, let me know in the comments, I think of it as being a kind of a budget alternative. It's for those that can't afford to go for the full fat version. I don't really take into consideration the fact of needing less space, because it doesn't take up a great deal less space, Micro-ATX over ATX. If you make the leap and go from Micro-ATX to ITX, then certainly yes, there is a definite premium for ITX, the ITX tax, but you can create a much smaller compact PC, which will be orders of magnitude smaller than an ATX box. So for that point, I can see why it's smaller and more expensive. But Micro-ATX fits in that weird selection where everything is roughly the same sort of price. There doesn't seem to be that much of a discount on it, but it still has that perceived thing of being a cheaper option, which generally it isn't as much, or at least it isn't as much now as it was back 10 years ago. So yeah, the motherboard was some people didn't like the motherboard, which there's not really a massive amount I can do about that because I don't have another motherboard that I can swap out. So in the PC was the B650M Gaming plus Wi-Fi, which actually I found to be a really nice board. It basically does everything that I need it to. And I wouldn't say it was necessarily cheap, but in terms of Micro-ATX, around about £150 for a B650 board with Wi-Fi, pretty decent board, M.2 slots are plenty. Yeah, it seemed like a reasonable choice, but there was quite a few that didn't like the choice of the motherboard. Possibly because of the slight accents. I don't know. I think personally it's quite a nice board. The onboard audio isn't the greatest, but it's satisfactory. It's got Wi-Fi 6E, I believe. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. And it's got a reasonable VRM, so you can upgrade the processor without having to worry about it melting anything down. So yeah, that was one of the kind of things that people picked up on and said, well, didn't like the choice of motherboard. I don't entirely agree with that, but I guess it is what it is. Namareal says, I love Micro-ATX. I struggle to like it. I like the principle behind it. And actually, I preferred Micro-ATX years ago, like 10 years ago, when there was a definite cut-off point. So like your top-end boards would be like £100, your Micro-ATX boards would be £50. So there was a tangible difference between the two. Whereas now you can pick up a Asus B650 Tough Gaming Wi-Fi for sometimes 150, 160, 170 pounds against 150 for that. So it's like 10, 20 pounds difference for arguably a much better board. So you're paying a premium for a smaller board, which doesn't necessarily equate to fitting in a much smaller package. So yeah, sorry. Ross. I can't see Ross.
Hi Mike, cheers for the advice.
Ross Crab. Hi Mike, cheers for the advice on the clogged NZX TH1AIO. I reached out to Noctua and found a low profile one that works great. Awesome. I'm glad you got that figured out. You have to refresh my memory, Ross. I think, did you email me a couple of times about that? Because you were in Bristol and you wondered if I'd have a look. We were going through some options. I think you might have been. Dave Aiken says, I love my Micro-ATX AP201. Everything I need and fits into a slick-looking small case. I'm done with the giant lump of metal sat in my living room. Fair enough. Actually, yeah, the AP201 I did like. That is a nice case. And thanks for letting us borrow it.
Ross says I did indeed.
Excellent. Cheers, Ross. Glad you got it figured out. Where was that? Someone else. Glenn was saying something there about... Glenn says the Thermaltake S100 is still 35 quid is the main reason. I like the Thermaltake S100 and I would probably buy a few more. Xenomorph, I agree Mike, for a few dollars more you can get an ATX. That is the biggest problem I have with Micro-ATX, that you don't get that kind of feel good, I've saved money feeling, which is a real shame.
Hello Dave.
Oh, sorry, I just drank the tea bag.
You gonna help, Grumpy?
Hello, Dave. How are you? Don't bite the cables. See, Calf never learns. Put the cat on the table, and what does he do? Bite the cables.
He didn't bite, he sniffed with his teeth.
Mark Berry says, my son's got a Micro-ATX B450 Steel Legend. Want him to get an ATX at some point. That was, again, the Micro-ATX B450 Steel Legend. That was a great board because the full-size Steel Legend was about 110, 120 pounds, whereas the Micro-ATX version was about 75, 80. So there was like a, well, it's like a quarter off nearly, 20% off. Made sense. Okay, let's have a look. Inspector X says, how are you, Mike? I'm not too bad. Thank you very much. Nice. Inspector X says, nice, an RX6800. For the RX6800, I think, to some extent, is possibly my problem with this build. Because it cost me, I think, £369 when I bought it. and it's basically been sat in a box. Well, I used it for about 2 weeks, then it's been put back in the box, and then put into various PCs for videos, but never actually used in anger for any length of time. So it's just sat there wasting away effectively. But nobody wants to buy a Radeon GPU in a system. If I sold it second-hand on its own, I think it would sell quite easily for, I don't know, probably 300 quid or something. I think someone would buy it. But still lost 70 quid on it, which, if it was an NVIDIA card, it's arguable that you wouldn't have lost that much money. Yes, Kath?
George?
George? Which George?
Mike, what do you think about the shift towards wooden panels on cases?
Ah, right. George, that is a very good question, actually. I have mixed feelings about it, if I'm honest. I think if it's implemented nicely and done in a subtle way, I think it's really good. And I keep on looking back now at the Fractal North. The Fractal North, or the XL version, in white with the light oak paneling on the front, I think might be somewhere where I head at some point. I do like the look of that. I really do. And I've not said that about any Fractal cases for a long, long time. The last Fractal case I had was... I can't even think what the Fractal case was I had. It was ages and ages ago. Like 2018 maybe. I've not had one since. So that... I do like the look of that, to be honest with you. So, yeah, if it's implemented well and it's functional, then I think it's worth doing. If, like some manufacturers, you just like, oh right, there's a craze for wood, so we'll just slap on a piece of wood somewhere, and it doesn't have any, doesn't enhance the look, and it's just there for the sake of being a piece of wood, I think that's a bad idea. I'm not keen on that.
There's quite a few questions coming in.
There would be. Chris Hartford says, market is flat. I've 5 PCs been listed since January. We'll break them down soon and sell off the parts. Sorry to hear that, Chris. Yeah, it's... I've said it before and I'll say it again. We've got 2 big hurdles to get over at the moment as a PC community, and also as a country, and also as a worldwide economy. There are 2, one of which for us predominantly here in the UK is the general election coming up on July the 4th. A lot of companies are a little bit hesitant at the moment about making investments or spending money or doing anything. We're kind of in this stasis field at the moment. So we're just trapped in this little bubble, just waiting to see what the outcome is going to be. And then I think things will improve for us here in the UK anyway, at least initially. Long term, I have no idea, but I think initially people will know then, they'll have a bit of security, they'll know what's going to be going on for the next 4 years. Obviously, that then leads into what goes on in America, where, again, people in America have been like it for a long time. There's been that stasis, that paralysis in the market, where everyone's like, well, we're running up to an election. Is it going to be one? Is it going to be the other? Is it going to be an absolute nightmare? Is it going to be okay? Is there going to be chaos on the streets? And all those kind of doomsday scenarios that people kind of dream up, which ultimately probably won't happen. But people do worry about that sort of stuff. So they don't want to make investments. They don't want to be hiring staff. They don't want to be expanding their businesses because you just don't know what's going to happen, depending on which way it goes at the elections. So I think for the PC market especially, and I think this is actually, hear me out on this one, NVIDIA look like they're not going to be releasing the 5000 series until Q1 of 2025. Which actually, if you think about it, makes perfect sense because NVIDIA like money. If they're going to sell a consumer graphics card, if consumers have got no money, or consumers are in paralysis, who are they going to sell the graphics cards to? Sure, they're going to sell some. But if they wait until the UK election and the American elections are done and dusted, by the time that Q1 rolls around, whoever has been selected will be, what's the word? They'll be in the White House, basically. So there'll be that kind of sigh of relief that it's all over, and we got another 4 years of whatever to deal with, or 2 years, or whatever it is, I don't know. So I think that is a sensible solution for them, for NVIDIA. But again, it's that extending the paralysis. We're all in it right now, so we've basically got nothing really to look forward to until next year. So again, people are thinking, well, can I wait a year until I build a PC, or should I just get something now so I can enjoy it? Those are the people that we want to try and get to and get in front of. But again, people are concerned. They don't know what's going to happen with the economy. If it goes one way in the election, we are going to be considerably worse off. If it goes the other way, we might still be considerably worse off. You don't know. So there's not a particularly positive outcome either way, I think, or at least that is the overall kind of misconception, I suppose, because it might be fine. It would just be another day, another dollar for a lot of people, but we'll see. Mark Barry says more taxation on the way. Yeah, that's it. Chris says there, NVIDIA are booming off the back of AI. Well, that's it. They can throw a lot of money into AI because that is the big thing at the moment. So they can sell to the big businesses, the colleges, all that kind of stuff, and they can still be making their money whilst they wait for the economy to restore, so that the us peasants can get our hands on some graphics cards. Anyway, Randy says, is Antec a good PSU brand? Well, Antec makes some crap PSUs, but they also make a lot of good PSUs. So don't generalise. All manufacturers make rubbish power supplies to some extent. Even Silverstone do. But they don't make them, they just put someone else's badge on it. Antec in general, I would say, are quite favourable in power supply market. Let's have a look.
Viali, I think it is up top.
Viali.
First question, there's quite a few up there.
How much farther have I got sort of Viali? Mike, have you seen the Be Quiet Light Base 900? I think that will be next case, maybe. Is that the one with the RGB stripper on the outside edge that you can do upright and flat as well? Yeah, if that's the one I think it is, I think that's an interesting case. We had a discussion, Dave Aitken and a couple of others, we were talking about it, and Dave's a little bit disappointed that they've kind of sold out and gone down the RGB route. Again, ultimately, it's one of those things that if the market is contracting, which it seems to be, although it does seem that the Asian markets are particularly strong at the moment. So the traditional Asian market, without being stereotypical, although this kind of is a little bit, traditionally the Asian market has had more flair to it. That's kind of where RGB come from, lighting, obviously anime and all that other kind of popular culture, which is associated with the Asian market, generally gets put into PCs and other things. Lunch boxes, cars, pretty much anything, you name it. They do seem to put the popular culture items and just stick them into things, and then they become great or popular. So I think for Be Quiet, because the market for the US and the UK definitely is contracting, they need to be looking at who their target audience is at the moment and where they can sell stuff. So by trying to appeal more to the Asian markets with lots of RGB, lots of bling, it may cheapen the look of the brand a little bit, which I totally understand. They've said that it looks like a kind of a GameMax mock-up, which is slightly offensive to GameMax, but I understand what you mean. Yeah, GameMax traditionally are well known for catering towards that Asian market. So for them as a company, Be Quiet, if they are struggling financially, which I guess they would be because pretty much everybody is, it makes sense for them to reach out to the other broader market, the RGB market, the illumination market, the bling market, to try and keep things ticking over. It makes absolute sense. Whether or not you like it, whether or not you feel it ties in with Be Quiet's ethos, that's another matter altogether. Ultimately, the brand name, I guess, has been one of those things which kind of says what it is. Be Quiet have always been predominantly trying to get into making a PC quiet, professional, sleek looking, no real frills, But we've seen them gradually coming into that market more and more with addressable RGB fans, addressable RGB built into cases. So they have become somewhat bling-tastic. Probably against their ethos, but if they want to stay in business, they've got to move with the times, as we all do. So hopefully that answers your question. Now Real says, who here is rocking Intel UHD graphics? Yes, I am. In my video editing PC, I just enabled it again last night. I forgot I disabled it. Inspector X says, I have a 7800X 3D and an RX6800. Nice combo. I play all Ultra 1440p. The RX6800 is a good card. When I reviewed it, I guess it might have been almost a year ago now. When I reviewed it, very happy with it. Was gaming at 4K on it. It's a good card. I like it a lot. But what I like isn't necessarily what's going to sell. I'm not quite that influential. Not yet, anyway. Wild Bill's got some Nui ice cream. £2 at Tesco, so I bought 2 boxes. Oh, I can murder an ice cream. Inspector X says, the people don't know how good the RX6800 is. It's, yeah, the RX6800 is actually one of those kind of silent, kind of, one of the kind of gems in the rough, because it's 16 gigs, it performs really nicely, low power requirements, and actually relatively cheap. So yeah, overall it's a pretty decent card. Andre says, hi Mike, what's APU driver for? I have an Ryzen 7 5700X and I don't know what to install, chipset driver or APU driver. If you've got a 5700X, you don't have an APU, so you don't need the APU driver. You need the chipset driver, and depending on the graphics card, the video card driver. Patrick LaBelle says, hello. Hi Patrick, how you doing? Hello, rainy day today, so I can watch it live. I'm sorry to hear that. Cyberclue, I'm still pondering getting the Thermaltake Tower 300 Micro-ATX, even though they don't have it in TARDIS blue, only Hydrangea blue. Yeah, that is, that's a shame actually. TARDIS blue would be quite nice for the Tower 300. I think the Tower 200 or 100 would probably suit TARDIS blue better because they're more square, whereas the 300 is octagonal or hexagonal, so not quite a TARDIS. You could always paint it though. I did see someone actually, someone I know who posts on one of the Thermaltake sites, and actually they did a BMW M3 themed, I think it was a CT500. Yeah, that looks amazing. Done in the, I don't think it's Astral Blue or Astral Blue, but it's one of those kind of typical BMW M3 colours, and it looks absolutely amazing. Harry K says, 2 issues with the motherboard. So going back to the B650M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. The PCI Express slot is low. Yeah, I'll give you that. And I have the MSI B550M. The MSI software for managing the board keeps crashing. Generally, I would say the MSI sensor software, for me, although there is a few little quirks every now and then, in general, I don't find it actually crashes. It does some weird things at times, but I've never known it crash. Sometimes it lags a little bit, so if you go into a certain section, it takes a while to load up. But I never actually witnessed it crashing, I don't think. Alex Hoos Tech says, I have the 7700 with the 6800. Looking for 7800X 3D in the next AliExpress sales. I don't know if you'll notice much difference with that, really. You will see a little bit of your 1% lows will probably be better, but I don't think it's going to, because the 7800X 3D is basically a 7700 with 3D V-cache. Other than that, it's basically the same processor. I think it's even the same TDP as well. Although it might be slightly higher because of the 3D V cache. Binge Game says, I don't know why, but from what I thought and seen, when I add NVIDIA GPU, it sells quick, but AMD it doesn't. Yeah. Zeno says, I love the Radeon software. It's a lot better, and they are both with BlackRock anyway. Yes, it's true. That is very true. Right, let's see if we can catch up. Matthew Day says, LGR's would 4864 to win. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that.
William Bailey's got a question. Why is this stream not on the notification list tonight?
I do not know. I have no idea. The YouTube is a weird and wonderful beast, and just because you're subscribed to a channel, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get notifications. Sometimes we don't get notifications for our own channel, other than on email. I don't get it in the app, but I get it in email. So I don't know. Sorry. Mark Berry says, everything is very polarised, America and UK just now. Well, I think that's the way they want it, to be honest with you. Because if they have everyone fighting against each other, like 50-50 split, we're so busy arguing with each other that they just get on and do what they want to do anyway. So I think that is by design. And basically, it doesn't matter, like the Democrats and the Republicans in America, they're basically the same party. Yes, they have different people and they have slightly different agendas, but ultimately they don't. They're just there to tax you and make money out of you, especially the career politicians. And the same is for the UK. I noticed on Facebook today there was some local representative in our area saying, these are the 6 pledges I make to Bristolians. They went through 6 pledges, and it's like, there's no way on God's green earth you, as an individual councillor, are going to make a blind bit of difference to any one of those 6 things. Are you smoking pot? And that's what it is. Politicians, they just promise you the earth and they basically don't do anything, ever. If politicians had a manifesto and it was a legally binding manifesto, then I think we could get behind parties more. And then there would definitely be someone to vote for, because you say, right, they're going to do such and such to the NHS or whatever, so that's going to get my vote. And if they don't do it, they are going to get in trouble. That would be excellent, but they just say what they want and do what they want, so it makes no difference. Greg Dodd says it's a shame. Greg, I think it was Greg who actually messaged about the PC. Says it's a shame I don't live close enough to pick it up because I like the build. It looks good and performs well. It does. It is a really nice PC, and if it wasn't for the fact that I've got numerous PCs already, I would probably keep it. Going back to what people were saying, actually, some people didn't like the case. That I totally understand. Potentially, if I do these changes to it and it still doesn't sell, I might go a little bit crazy and put it in the Thermaltake Tower 200, because that's a very quirky case. And then hopefully the quirkiness of the case might attract a certain type of person who doesn't mind spending a bit of extra money to have something which looks a little bit unique. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Michael T, how you doing, Michael T? Michael T has gifted 5 Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How-Tos memberships. William Bodie has been gifted a membership by Michael T. Greg Dodd was also gifted a membership by Michael T. Firestorm was gifted. Wayne Evans and Tough Enough was also gifted a membership by Michael T. Thank you very much, Michael T. Much appreciated. So for those of you who don't know, if you get a Mike's Unboxing membership, either gifted or you sign up and become a member, you can do that. I think it's is it £3 a month or something along those lines? I'm not too sure. It's very inexpensive. You get early access to videos. So you get videos at least a week, possibly 2 weeks earlier than everybody else. You also get VIP access on our Discord. And you also get the ability to use cool emojis in the chat, should you wish to. Although, I don't think we're that kind of chat, but you feel free to use them if you want to. Right. Thank you very much, Michael T. Dave Poole says, hiya, Mike's Unboxing. How you doing, Dave Poole?
That's because I said hi on your account.
Ah, right, okay. Nick Barnes says, I thought the TT200 was ITX only. Well, the Tower 200 will actually fit a Micro-ATX board, but not all of them. And it's not easy to wire, because you have to wire the pin out slightly differently, because you can't take them around the side because of how close it is. So I might even do a video on that, showing you how it's done. But yes, the Tower 200 is officially ITX, but it will fit a Micro-ATX in there as well. But not all of them. Most it will.
Mark Berry became a member today for £2.98.
£2.98 Mark Berry did. Bless you, Mark Berry. Much appreciated. £2.98, that's a bargain. There you go, using your emojis.
Can we give some away? No?
Yeah, we'll match that, and we'll give away 5 as well. But we're cheapskates because we get given them by YouTube to give away, so we don't pay for them. So, Mike's Unboxing, that's me and Kath. We have giveaway memberships to Inky1919, Charles Ballard, Hayden Trent, Ronald Modo, and FA. I'm not going to pronounce the rest of that. That was it. FA. Acacia? FA Acacia. Sorry if I completely butchered that. My apologies. Mark Berry says you and Kath are worth every penny. God bless you. Lying through your teeth. It's very kind of you to say. So, there you go. Inky, no worries. So now you've got early access. So when you go into YouTube, in your feed, you can check on members or memberships, and you can get early access to the videos. Rick says, I'd prefer a cat donation. He wants Dave. No, Dave's not going anywhere. I do worry that someone might steal Dave, because he is cute. Anyway. Zero Defects says, do the Tower 200 thing. Well, if there's enough of you interested, I might buy another Micro-ATX motherboard to put in there and do it, if this doesn't sell. Dave Poole was asking, would an RTX 4070 run okay with an Intel 12400 CPU? Yeah, generally that's going to be fine. The only thing you'll find with some more CPU heavy games, you might see a slight bottleneck. But the 12400 is fine. 4070, again, it depends on the resolution, depends on the game settings. You'll probably find it more suited to 1440p high to ultra settings, whereas 1080p low would probably be a little bit too heavy on the CPU. Michael T's come in with another 5 Aussie dollars and says, for the kitty kitty. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Greg Dodd's asking, Mike, would you go soundbar or speakers for a PC? I actually would like to go for a soundbar. I've been toying with the idea for a long time. I've got some Creative Labs 4-point surround speakers, which were actually purchased, I believe, in 1990. When did we get our PC? 96.
96.
I think we bought these speakers in 1997, and we got 2 sets. We bought 1 set after. The original set, I'm not sure it's on Kath's desk or mine, because we both got matching speakers.
I think it's on that desk, because that was my desk.
Yeah, so I think I've got the original. So these, I've got the Creative Labs 4-point surround speakers, which are now 20... Oh, hang on, how old are they now?
Did you just move the whole desks?
I might have moved the whole desk.
Oh, it don't matter, does it?
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, they were $49.99 back in 1996, 97, and still using them now. So that's worked out, what, £2 a year? That's not bad. And they do sound pretty nice.
That's 30 years, isn't it? Almost.
Cyberclude, that's not a bad idea. Nick Barnes says, do you know which Micro-ATX would fit as like the due to the small... I think it's most of them, to be honest with you. I think there are some outliers from ASRock which have a slightly wider frame. I've watched a couple of videos where people have done it as well, so it is possible and it will fit, but we'll see. Skystalker says, if you buy a soundbar, don't go too cheap. A good one is really worth it. Rick says, a compact soundbar with a subwoofer make an amazing PC speaker setup. Well, I actually bought for George the Creative Labs. Oh God, which one is it?
Probably done a review, didn't he?
No, we never reviewed it because he just set it up in his bedroom and that was it. It wasn't the Katana. It was the one below that. So it's a sound bar. It's got a little LCD on the front, and it's also got a separate subwoofer. And that thing kicks. He doesn't use it because I asked him what do you want for Christmas. He's like, "Oh, I want a sound bar." Okay, get a sound bar. He doesn't use it, but that's the one I want to get. I would like to get that. Edward White says, "Hi Mike, long time watcher from the USA. Thank you for the info on PCs." No worries. Whereabouts in the US are you, if you don't mind me asking? I'd love to know. We have quite a few viewers from the United States. Mostly, or notably, I would say Texas, Arizona, Michigan, and
Nevada.
California. He's in New Jersey. Okay. My apologies. I'm kidding. New Jersey is a cool place. Greg Dodd says, time for a soundbar review maybe. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't mind doing it because it would be useful for video editing because the speakers I've got, they're fine. They're nice, but they're not quite, they're not like audiophile. They're clear enough. I want to get by. Retired Retired firefighter. Awesome. Gary's from Illinois. So, yeah, of course, Illinois.
Rick's from Washington.
Washington State. That is Washington State near Pennsylvania? My geography is not great for America. Binge Games, is anyone here from the US? From Australia, or only me? Oh, it's on the left coast. Okay, I got you. Yeah, there's some. Michael T, I think, is Australian. And Dave.
And the Trojan.
Yeah, and the Trojan as well, yeah. And there comes in a super chat from Glenn. £4.20. 420 blazing. Ka-ching. Thank you very much. You can have a ka-ching. You can have a real ka-ching.
The book I'm reading at the moment is set in Elizabeth in New Jersey.
Washington State is above Oregon in the northwest. So over there. Okay. So up above. So if you go like California, then up through, up further that way. East Coast, California, East Coast. I'm trying to think of the logistics now. Washington DC is near Pennsylvania. Ah, right. So Washington is on the west coast, is it? West coast. Now you have to explain where Oregon is. I've got no idea. I have a hard enough job finding my way out of Downend, where I live. Oh dear. Right, let's get this PC out and let's have a look, and we'll do some swapping over because time is getting away from us, and I'll get Kath to read out the chats if I can't see them, so we'll have a look. If there's anything that you have a specific question about, then please put a Q in front of it, just so that it's a bit more highlighted so I can find it, and also Kath can find it as well, if you would be so kind, ladies and gentlemen. My voice is going again. Let's get this bad boy out. Try to no static shock for me. Mike is mixing up his east and west. I know, I could never be a homie. Or whatever it is those cool kids are in the gangs. Because there was a West Coast and East Coast rivalry, wasn't there, between rap gangs or rap things, whatever, I don't know. Whatever it is. It's a rap thing. As a youngster, I was always into iced tea. Not the drink, the wrapper. I think Iced Tea The Power was the first album I listened to with Iced Tea. God, I must have had that thing on auto reverse for so long. No more static, excellent stuff. So there we go, there's the PC that won't sell. Let's take the glass panel off so it doesn't reflect onto Kath, because she'll get upset. And yeah, it's actually not a bad PC, to be honest with you. I like it. I think it's got a really nice look to it. Lose that ugly cooler. Well, we are going to be losing the ugly cooler. That's going to be going. Graphics card is going to be going. I think the 3070 is actually going to be quite a nice contrast because of that kind of graphite-y grey edge. We'll take away some of the distraction that this monstrosity gives.
I'll just swap the GPU with the CPU cooler with an AIO will look just more impressive.
Sorry,
I'll swap the CPU, the CPU cooler with an AIO will just look more impressive. Why so many people hate that case?
I don't know. There are some quirks to this case which do... Yeah, I don't think it's... The case itself is... The case is okay. It's got a few little sort of things which I feel could have been done better, and it is, without shadow of a doubt, outrageously overpriced. But I think I did say that in the review. And the same goes for the Tecware VXL Evo, which is exactly the same. And actually, the VXL Evo, I've actually got out in the hallway, which I don't know what I'm going to do with it, because it's one of those weird cases where it's actually expensive, like best part of 90 quid, and it's a little bit limited. And if you look at what was coming out from CEX this week, there was a lot of stuff which was actually like considerably better. So there we go. There is the XFX, the RX6600. This thing is pretty much immaculate. It's been used very, very little. In fact, like, it's quite dusty in here. Obviously you've got the cats and stuff. And this thing is basically spotless. So anyway, that'll go back into the box. Is there any questions while I'm doing this boxing? I can do boxing and reboxing. Ordinary Dew says, I think it's because it's not ATX. I think that is part of the problem as well. Being totally honest with you, it's a weird case. It could have been so good as well. I almost wish that some of the case manufacturers would actually do a little bit of research before they just go to some Chinese wholesaler and say, yeah, I'll have 1,000 of those, please. Stick them in a crate. Which is generally what happens. They just buy a whole load of crap and pray that it works. I know GameMax used to do that a lot. They would just buy absolutely loads and loads of different design cases and see which ones worked out. And sometimes it's the weirdest ones that work out. Like there was one, actually from Colink, there was one called the Colink Void. Look it up, the Colink Void. And it's a shocking case. It's just basically a solid glass panel on the front, no airflow whatsoever. But it's got like a 3D mirror type thing going on the front. And it's one of their best selling cases. And overclockers actually, I think, use it for their builds. It's a shocker. Put that wrong. Yes, Kath.
Binge Games, does that PC have RGB light fans?
Oh yes, it's got a whole lot of RGB, and it's going to get a whole lot more because you can't have enough RGB.
Dave said, I just think the 1,000+ used market is a hard one to crack. That money's warranty and seller guarantee is just really.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the price point is a little bit too much, which is why hopefully making these just very small modifications is going to allow me to bring it down to sort of like the maybe 800, 750 mark, which I think at 750 it's going to be a cracking PC. And like I've seen other PCs on the market for like £600 mark, and they're fine, but they don't have a lot of headroom, or they're using like a crappy motherboard or crappy RAM or crappy power supply, that sort of stuff, just to try and get to that price point. Whereas I'm in a lucky position where I've been gifted stuff, so I can then give that away basically. I'm going to get rid of my jacket because it's a bit hot. Mike's Unboxing hoodie, available from all good retailers and some bad ones. Yes.
David Aiken, you looking to sell that 6800 on its own?
Yes, I am. The 6800 will be for sale.
And Captain Y, there's a load of interesting new cases that have been announced at Computex. Did you see any of that?
Yes. There's two. The two.
Any of that?
Yes, some of the new cases from Lian Li. I do like the look of. I think it was it the 207 or the 217? Probably both. Those look very interesting. And actually, one which surprised me more than I thought it would is the Corsair, the 3500X. The 3500X I like a lot, and it's looking like it's going to be about 85 quid without fans, which suits me down to the ground. It's a little bit more than I would like to pay, but that's a lot of case for the money. The 3500X, I'm almost tempted to pre-order one because I think they've done everything right there. As long as they get the build quality right. Yes, Kath. Umar?
Can you look at the Kuri, is it?
Yep.
25E3Q. It's 24.5 inch QHD, 165 Hz, running 130 in the UK.
I have heard of that.
No one has any reviews for it at the moment.
I have heard it mentioned. I've actually reached out to oh god.
Kuri?
No, actually, no, it wasn't Curry, was it? No, I was thinking of someone else. I reached out to. Sorry, I put this on the overhead camera. I reached out to Electric, who also do the same sort of monitors at the same sort of prices. And yeah, I've not had any any responses. But yeah, that Kuri monitor looks actually quite interesting for the money. If I didn't have a bunch of monitors here all knocking around, I would definitely get one of those and give it a try. I'm not sure if it's a little bit small for 1440p though. Probably be quite nice though. Yeah, I think the Corsair 3500X was one which I thought looked very, very interesting indeed. Let me know in the comments what did you see which you thought was good. Oh, they are. Oh, good. Fractal design case with no windows, very retro. Yeah, I did see that. Rick H says, Mike, did you see those new tiny power supplies from Thermaltake? We've actually reviewed one of them already.
Has it gone out yet?
Um,
Rick should have seen them anyway, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think the review. Yeah, I'm sure that's gone out already. The Thermaltake Platinum. In fact, yeah, because a couple of people said that. So have you seen those? It's like, you've seen them, I've bloody reviewed it. Tough Power SFX, is that the one?
Feels like a long time ago you made it.
Which one was that? Tough Power, that's the 850, so that must be the 1000 watt.
Tiny. Yeah, it's went public on the 24th of May.
Yeah, so you got that one there, the Tough Power SFX. So that was the original version, which was the gold rated one, and the one they've just released is this one here, the Tough Power SFX 1000 watt, which is a platinum. So yeah, the video for that has gone out very recently, and that thing is ridiculously small. In fact, if I get it out, you can see how small it is. The box of wires is actually bigger. So the power supply, as you can see, is basically a little bit smaller than the cooler. That thing is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. 1000 watt platinum power supply, and it's absolutely tiny. Yeah, that is gorgeous. I think was it? I think it was Toad who said about it the other day. He said he'd like to see some benchmarks from like cybernetics or PPLP, and I agree. It'd be. I don't think so. I think that is the latest one they've got out, because that is the new ATX 3.1. But yeah, they do look absolutely tiny. And actually, if I do the build in the Tower 200, I probably will put one of those in it. Engineering masterpiece, says Mark Barry. You're not wrong. Ah, right. I can't do much more of that because the wiring is on the back and I'm plugged into the hub. So let's strip this bit off. Inspector X says the people prefer a 4060 Ti than an RX6800, but the Ti is 20% slower and costs a lot more. Yeah, I never understood anybody buying the 4060 Ti. That was a really weird card. You've been better off just buying the 3060. I do like the fact that the AM5 mounting brackets now don't basically implode when you take stuff apart. Oh, I've taken that side off already. So where's that going to there? Oh man, I had this wired up so neat. Had.
Do you pay attention to PSU tier lists at all?
No. Never have done, never will do. I use them for reference sometimes, but I don't put too much weight in them. Tier lists are very much like power supply stuff people get really snobby about. And most of the things is because they're either ill-informed or they're just being snobs about it. And it's like the people who say, oh, I'm going to have to go and buy Castrol GTX oil because it's the best oil. It's like, no, you're buying it because it's a brand name and you've been told that it's the best. It isn't the best. It's good, but it's not the best. And there's a lot of that in the power supply market as well. And of course, with the power supply testing market as well, is something which has always bothered me because, like anything, a power supply, like unless you're testing a number of them, like a couple of hundred, then you never really get a full kind of idea of what it is. So you might get an individual power supply which on the day of testing performs exceptionally well, but you may find that out in the wild there are some subtle changes to the design, or if there's just a lot of them on the market, then they suddenly start dying after a short while. So the test size of one, I think personally, is placing a little bit too much weight on a review. You can use it as guidance, and if like a lot of people are all saying the same thing, then of course, then do go with that. But generally, most YouTube reviews, they rely on data from other sources, other YouTubers generally. So it's kind of like almost like an echo chamber. And for me, that is never something which I would put too much credence in. But certainly they do, those review sites and what have you, they do have their uses. And you can get a good consensus of what something's going to be like. Because if I'm right in thinking, the Gigabyte power supply, which Steve on Gamers Nexus actually blew up a few of them, those originally, when they first came out, actually reviewed quite well. And various sites actually had them reviewing very well. And were actually recommending them. Then they started catching on fire. Or blowing up under certain loads. So, again, it's like extremes. If you're not going to put your power supply through, like, crazy extremes, then it doesn't really matter. And I can quite happily say, of all the PCs and power supplies that I've had over the, getting on for nearly 30 years that I've been doing this, I've still only ever had one actually catch on fire. I've had a couple pop, but that was like 15, 20 years ago. I think these days power supplies very rarely fail. At least very rarely fail like spectacularly. I'm regretting this already. Right, let's have a look at your other questions. Well, Bill says I wouldn't want a GTX if it was free. How about a Castrol GTX? Castrol GTX is alright. This is brand leader, as used by BMW. Right, the Thermaltake fans are coming out. No actual disrespect to the Thermaltake fans, but as somebody else said, it's kind of pointless. Actually, quite a nice tidy PC at the moment. It won't stay that way for very long because we're going to put a load of fans in with a load of wires, which is going to make this look very, very messy indeed.
Bill, can you read it?
Well, Bill, what's that? You wouldn't want a GTX?
Oil of choice.
Oh, what is your oil of choice?
I can't read it. You
I can't even see it. Well, Bill. Oh, Fuchs Titan Super Synth 540 fully synthetic is my oil of choice. 540 is a good choice of oil, especially if you have a slightly higher mileage vehicle or you drive it a little bit harder. Most manufacturers will try and go for 0.30 these days, or 530, or even 0.20, but 0.20 for a lot of cars is just way too thin. You end up burning it all in the combustion cycle and filling up all the time. Mark Barr is using comma 1040. But I've got an old banger. Comma 1040. I remember when Comma first came out and started doing oil, and they were doing 2050, 1550 and 1040. So you had the 2050 for the older cars, you had the 1550 for the more modern petrols, and you had the 1540 which was for the diesels at the time. So this would have been like early 90s. Happy times. Glenn says Comma is our go-to at the garage. I actually won a few Comma sales promotions back in the day. I had my Comma jacket. No, did I have a Comma jacket?
Not that I know of.
No, I don't think that was a Wins jacket.
They might have lent you one while you were in there.
Yeah. Tight bastards. I think I may have put a load of sticky fixers in here. Yes, I did. Hey? Duh. Right, there's the majority of those out. Mark Berry says, I had a girlfriend, she worked in the Comma factory in Gravesend. It's good oil.
I thought that's going to be Jay.
I was waiting for the punchline there. Like she was always lubed or something. Vader Racing VR. I had a PSU go south but did not trip. EVGA Supernova 850 watt, and melted the VGA cable and ruined the PS2, but would still power my PC and did not trip. Weird. Very weird. Talking of oil, I love it when Tesco have a sale on every now and then, and they just sell off like ridiculous Castrol deals for like £5 for a gallon or something stupid, when it's normally like 35, 40 quid. Aletta, good question actually. She has been recovering. I've seen her on now and then. She's been in the Discord now and then. She's been leaving comments in the videos.
And more importantly, well, not more importantly, but Mick Woods, we haven't seen him for ages.
Yeah. Calling all cars, has anyone seen Mick Woods? Or Colin Hilton for that matter? They're all disappearing. Don't blame him. Nice weather. Right, let's clean off the CPU. Might as well get the paste off of that while we're in this vicinity. And try and find my spray. There we go.
Matthew Day says high source 2.5 switches are on deal. 4 port 1632, 8 port 2750.
Where's that? Where's that? Where's that?
I don't know, it doesn't say.
Oh.
I thought you were asking him.
I was asking either of you.
Let me consult my crystal ball. Sarcasm. Lowest form of wit.
Oh, I've got the bloody thermal paste in there.
Colin's in. He's watching, Mike.
Hey Colin, how you doing? I should mention as well, actually, Colin has offered to sponsor a giveaway. So potentially if the Lian Lee cases come out sooner rather than later, then Colin may sponsor one of those. There we go. Never let it be said that I don't look after my PCs, even using my own toothbrush. I've actually had to go upstairs and get that. That's my toothbrush. It's seen better days. To be fair, it's seen better teeth as well.
Colin's fine.
Good, Colin. Glad to hear it. I've turned into Bob Fleming again. Okie dokie. Right, what shall I put in next? I suppose I need to sort out the fans, so let's get those out of the way. Those can go over here, and the CPU cooler. And the Leyland Brothers. Use it on your teeth for optimal heat transfer. Oh yes. Steve Poole. Oh no. Big ass air cooler. Right, let's put that over there. Don't need that anymore. So I'm not too sure what to do, really. Let's go back to the other camera. So I've got a, well, let's say we've got a decision to make here. So I've got the CPU cooler, which is the Colink Void 360. It's a black CPU cooler and it's got black ARGB fans on it. So the question is, do I put those in the top, then put the 3 intake fans on the bottom? Actually, no, that's not going to work because I still need 3 intakes on the bottom. So no, that's made my mind up. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Because the theory is, obviously the bottom, I want intakes, I want updraft. bringing air in, but also on the side we've got fans for bringing air in, and we've got three reverse blades, and we've got 3 normal blades. So do I forego the 2 side ones at the moment and wait for those to arrive? So I'm thinking about doing an intake on the back. No, that's not going to work either. Let's see what these look like. I think these look bad from the wrong side. So yeah, in the reverse mode, actually it's probably not going to be a great deal in it, is there? 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. Yeah, let's have a look at the other ones. That's a standard one. So that's the normal.
What fans are those?
These are the Jungle Leopard Prism 4 RS.
I knew they had a cat. Nick Barnes, why can't the GPU draw its own air, so leaving fans on back to draw air in?
Yeah, it could do. So I could put 3 of these along the top, which will kind of hide the radiator a little bit, and then put the other 3, have an intake at the back, weirdly, and then 2 intakes on the side. I think I'll do that. I will probably change my mind at some point. Let's get an idea of what it's going to look like. So actually, there's no point getting an idea of what it's going to look like, because I know what it's going to look like.
Use your imagination to the fullest, not.
Use your imagination. Now, something I would like to do, there is a big gap at the top of this case where you put the fans and then it just stops there. So I am tempted to try and overcome that by, I don't know, I would quite like to stick a fan there, but there's nothing for it to really stick to. I'll sod it, I'm just going to do it. If it turns out bad, we'll blame anyone who's not here tonight.
Go all out, 5 in, 4 out.
I haven't got enough for that. I've only got 6 at the moment. I've got another 4 coming. So this might have to be a revisit, which I don't often like to really do, but I might have to. See, if I put out there too high, then there's going to be a gap towards the bottom. But I don't know if I prefer a gap at the bottom or at the top. If it's a minimal gap, it might not be too bad. Sorry about this, I'm going around the back side, said the doctor. See if we can put that in there just to hold that in place. I might have to get a couple of little washers on there just to hold it.
Right, Captain White says, okay, let's play how much did Captain White pay for? Corsair 4000D Elite, is it Elite or Elite?
Elite, yeah.
And with all 3 fans and fan controller in very good condition, plus 3 times Corsair LL120 ARGB fans and 2 extra Corsair SP120 fans. Guesses?
It's going to be a stupid price, isn't it? It's probably going to be like 40 quid or something ridiculous.
And Nick Barn asked, with back panel, will you notice gap when stood meter away?
No, but I've definitely cleared it up a little bit there. Oh, that's not that one. I want to reverse. Reverse.
It was second hand, not new.
Yeah, if it's second hand, there's got to be some ridiculous thing. 20 quid. Jesus. How much crack did they need to buy? And how cheap is crack? That's ridiculous. Unbelievable.
Did you say that or did you redo Morris?
I read that, yeah. That is unbelievable. 20 quid.
Or after you turned into Mark from
That's the
hotel.
thing, some people have just got no idea whatsoever what things are worth. And they just don't care. Where is, so I'm taking it out of the side. Oh. I've fecked up here, haven't I? Or have they fecked up? Where's that cable coming from? Right, so if I do that there, oh, that's right. That's good. We're good. Don't panic. Right, so I think there, having a little bit of a gap isn't going to be the... Oh, bastard.
Careful.
Thanks, Babs.
Still those.
Times like this, I should use an electronic screwdriver, but I'm dangerous enough with a manual one. Right, I'm going to optimise this for airflow.
Captain Knight says came with 8 fans total.
8 fans. That's incredible. Nicely done. I'll give you 30 for it. You get a 50% profit straight up. Actually, why the hell am I struggling with this? Just take that panel out. Yeah. I can't believe how unhumid it is in here. It's only 40% humidity. I think that thing's broken. Right, I think that looks better now with the 2 fans. There's a little bit of a gap at the top, a little bit of a gap there, a little bit of a gap there. So at least it's equidistant. Is that what they call it? Equidistant?
Horse racing.
Yeah. Mike, just cable tie the fans in. Wow. David Underhill. That is a despicable thing to say. I had thought of it. I decided against it. It was very tempting. Right, let's plonk these wires through out to the back before we start getting too much other crap in here.
Those gaps between the fans.
Huh?
Seems very strange with the gaps between the fans.
Who said that?
Down.
Dutch Jan, stop it! The thing is, there's not really much I can do. I can't put 140s in there because they physically won't fit. And if I kind of butt these up together more...
2 times 140 will not
Might.
fit in it.
No. 2 times 140 definitely will not fit. That's what I mean, there's like
Make it.
weird quirks with this. But I think if I get the Dremel out on this thing, it'll end up just, there'll be nothing left of it.
For you.
Or me. I'll have
It'd be
fewer fingers.
short and typist.
Sure. Right. I don't think that's too bad. I think it's actually better than it was. Maybe.
Put them together doesn't look right with gaps.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, okay, I will.
Why you wouldn't ever do that for me?
I want to see what it looks like. Don't think I can butt them up much more anyway, because of the gap now. So there's going to be a big gap on the bottom. Yeah, that's as far as I can take it. How's that look? Is that better? They're not touching, but they're close. And it's almost the same gap at the top now as it is at the bottom.
Could have filled the gap at the top with a piece of white carbon wrap.
I could still do that. The thing is as well, there is going to be the AIO, which is going to come to there. So I might be able to drop them down a little bit anyway. We'll see. Well, at least they're yeah, thanks you. So we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. So now we need.
Are you putting fans in the bottom?
I am going to put fans in the bottom, but I won't be doing that at the moment because I'm going to put these fans actually on the AIO. And then when I get some more of these fans, which no doubt I will need a couple more, I will fill up the bottom bit as well, just to pack it out a bit. And for the thing is, like, these are £5 each, so if they were on Amazon, I would have bought a load more already, but they're not, unfortunately. Well, they are, but they're not £5, I don't think. It's an AliExpress special. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'll just throw the gap at the top.
Who says that? Stop it! You're not having a gap at the top. Tell them, Kath, they're not having it. Right, I have an intake on the back, which will then pull cold air from the outside straight into the path of the AIO.
Are these fans quiet?
They are actually, yeah, surprisingly. Considering how cheap they actually performed very well. And were basically silent most of the time. What's that I've broken there? There. Never mind. I've arrived. Got the Arctic C8 yesterday, very happy with the case. That is another one actually which I'm quite interested in, the Arctic C8 or the C5 or C3?
Vote gap at the top or the bottom.
Yeah, have a vote with the gap at the top or the bottom. If you say at the bottom, no, at the top, I'll be upset because everyone who commented on the video said the opposite. So please just don't. I'm too fragile at the moment. I can't cope. "97 concurrent viewers. Come on, 3 more viewers, and we get our.
Calling out to the ones not watching.
Yeah, come on. The three of you that aren't watching, bloody turn on your interweb and turn the bloody channel on. I'm not doing this for fun, you know. And most people aren't watching it for fun.
Air out the back and intake on the bottom.
Middle.
Mash the light.
Smash the like or like?
Like.
Oh yeah, smash the like, definitely. So yeah, we've got a slightly unconventional setup currently until the other fans come. They should.
The fans and ditch the case.
Wow. Who said that? Who said? Who said ditch the fan, ditch the case, and keep the fans? Dutch Jan. Wow. I always thought the Dutch were a very kind and loving race of people. Clearly, I was mistaken. Oh shit! I nearly did ditch the case then by smashing the glass. That wouldn't have gone down well. Come on, 98 viewers. Come on, 2 more viewers. Get our 100. Come on, got to be in it to win it.
Mine says 95.
Well, yours is wrong. I'm in the control center thing. Equilibrium Entertainment says, I bought a Steam Deck last week because I wanted to move from console to PC gaming. I'm thinking now I should have invested in a PC. There are a lot of drawbacks of the Steam Deck over a PC, but if you've got a PC, the Steam Deck makes an excellent companion for it. So it's yeah, it's like a companion device. James Miscellaneous counts as 3 viewers. Thank you, James. So air out the back and intake at the bottom. No, we've got the exact opposite. So I've got an intake here on the back. So that is going to pull air directly from the outside and then into the path of our AIO, into this side. And this fan here and this one here is going to bring in air into here, and that will be pulled out from the top through the AIO also. So the AIO should do particularly well. And then when we get the extra 3 fans, we'll put those on the bottom, and those will be intake as well. So we'll have 6 fans as intake and 3 as exhaust. And by that we'll have some positive pressure, so that'll push out some of the hot air all around it anyway. And it will also help the resistance in the AIO by helping to push the air through those blades and those the fin stack, etc. Awesome. Right, I need one of those. My phone charged yet? Yeah, close enough. So we can get rid of this slightly unsightly cable.
Is it too late to ask for a blue case?
Is, you know, you can ask for a blue case now if you want. Yes, it is. So we'll pass that back through.
CPU cooler, vertical airflow, or competing with the rear fan?
It's going to be complementing the rear fan. Because what we're going to have is the airflow is going to come in through here, because this is a reverse blade. So that's going to be pulling cold air straight in, and then it's going to go over the top of the VRM, or the VRM cooler, and also into the path of the first fan and possibly some part of the second as well. So we're going to get a lot of air in towards that CPU cooler. It's a shame really that the CPU isn't a higher powered one, because it would be really good. Right, GPU wise, I should say thank you to David Aitken for not robbing me. I'm going to go for the RTX 3070 Founders Edition. Founders Edition. Or the I actually went to design school version. What a nice looking card. It's a shame actually it's not a 3060, because I think that would have worked even better. But this will do.
When the bottom fans are in, I'll just switch the rear to exhaust.
The thing is, if you switch the rear to exhaust, then you're taking any of the cold air which is going to be heading towards the AIO, which a lot of people do the same thing, and actually it will have a detrimental effect. I might even do a video on that, actually showing the pros and cons of that particular thing, because it does get asked quite frequently actually. Let's pull that out there. Got the cables twisted a bit. So let's put that back in there.
Ugly card in my opinion.
Who said that? Dutch Jan?
Yeah.
Dutch Jan! Have you been taking statins or something? You seem very aggressive. Very aggressive. Oh, I forgot to peel off the bloody... Oh, did I? No, I did peel off the side. That's fine. Carry on. Dutch Jan, what has got into you?
Captain White says to bin the case still.
Captain... All right, I'll have yours off you for 30 quid. I've already made you that offer.
Well, he didn't say bin it, he said you're not wrong about the case. Yeah.
The case isn't great. It's one of those things that I wanted to try and get this PC done and dusted and built and gone, because like I appreciate the case isn't everybody's thing, but I was thinking that hopefully somebody would want a reasonably priced PC for not a lot of money. And even if they didn't really love the case, they might appreciate a bargain and go with the flow. But clearly that has not come to pass. So kind of working against the tide a little bit. Thing is, if someone said to me, Mike, like, don't worry, I'll have that case off you for 30 quid, I'd be like, right, done.
I'll chuck in 8 fans.
I'll chuck in some fans, not 8. I've not got that many. Oh, come on, you mouse. Right, I'm going to poke this from the other side. Set the bishop. They don't do bishop jokes anymore, do they? This is a bit sad. They don't do the Englishman, Irishman and Scotsman either anymore, do they? It used to be very common. Let's get my cable combs all the way to the end. Happy days. So I think already that is going to look nicer than what we had there previously. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Please tell me you do. Oh. Clear the super chat. There we go.
Sorry, I know that works. Lightly chat off.
No excuse. Right, that's going to make this one.
Welly Bob.
Sorry, Welly Bob. Did I mention the power supply in this thing as well is a Corsair HX850 Platinum power supply. Like, that is a quality power supply. And yes, the only reason it's actually in here is because I got it cheap off Dave. Yeah. I think that's looking good. I'm not looking forward to the next bit.
Dutch Jan keeps speaking, it's funny.
Dutch Jan, go for it, yeah.
He
Oh, I
said,
like
well,
it.
not speaking anymore, I'm too aggressive.
No, it's good. It's nice to have an opinion. If I was sat in an echo chamber, it'd be very boring.
I find it funny.
Yeah, I do.
Just to see your face.
I'm only joking. Honestly, I don't mind at all. 92 viewers currently. Come on. What happens to the other 8?
Mine says 90.
I bet that's James Mussolini has logged off and that's taken 3.
No, he was still in chat.
Come on, James. Have we got to 100 yet? We haven't, have we? It's been stuck at 92. I want to have peak concurrence at 100. It's not too much to ask.
Paint everything beige.
Paint everything beige? Why?
Make it more 90s.
That's a great idea. Why didn't I already thought of that? Oh yeah, because it's a bad idea. Look, I've got more boxes. Oh dear. I am so regretting doing this. Right.
It's moonwalking. It's just you're off camera.
I know, but I get the idea. There you go. I was moonwalking there, ladies and gents. I know you didn't pay to see Michael Jackson tonight, but he's here. Right. Do I use those fans? They've got a little bit of side RGB on them. Or do I use the white ones? What is the consensus?
Paint the whole thing black.
Paint it black. Song, isn't it? Paint it black. Is it hot in here or is it me?
It's hot in here.
Jeepers.
It's a bit cold if you're doing the. I'm trying to keep the cats in there. We can have it open a bit. Trying to keep them in. They're all out still.
I think my whistling's not worked. It says 9,091. Right, so AIO. A-O. Let's go. Right, that's not going to fit, is it? With the pipes there. It's a tight fit. So that is not going to...
no signal. Is that just... sorry. I'm a bit behind on it.
No, I don't like looking at it.
White fans, please. White. White case fans. White in our case. White is right.
Okay. And that fits better actually. That side.
Lol, doesn't even fit.
Yeah, after all that. Oh, it's not long enough. Actually, that'll be alright. Have I got the option to mount it that way? I would like it that way. It's got a nice swoop to the cables, hasn't it? Right. So that's the way we're going. Cat hair. So we're going that way round. So those fans are going to have to go like that.
In the side.
I haven't got a 240.
Other way look better.
The other way look better? What, with the pipes on the left?
Might look better with the white air cooler.
I've taken it out now. What, put the white one back in? They haven't, no, that's not what they're saying, is it?
I don't know what the air was for, but it comes on after that.
Zero defects. The other way, oh, the other way looks better. No, pipes from the front is better. Okay. That's what she said, David Underhill. You're absolutely right. Michael T, that PC would be getting a full water loop for me. To be honest with you, I still really want to do a full water loop. I will do one at some point. In fact, actually, there's a new thing from... I'm trying to think which brand it was. One of the brands have got this new push fit system, which works with both hard and soft tubing, all on 16mm with push fit. And I think, excuse me, I think that is the way I would actually like to go. So hopefully somebody like Thermaltake totally rips off that idea and does it as well. Because I would like to get a Thermaltake full loop. AliExpress for water cooling is a little bit of a... Yeah, I don't think I'd be overly keen, to be honest. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the backside now.
White air cooler look better, no question. Crazy to think that big air cooler is needed for a 7700 even.
This is true. Who's saying that?
Welly Bob.
Welly Bob.
Rick. Mike, it's your build. Do it your way. Let the buyer change things around.
That's, yeah, I think that's kind of the idea, really. All I need it to do is to look nice in some pictures. That's the reality of it. That's how most people buy stuff, isn't it? They see something, they like the look of it, they buy it. They regret it at their leisure. And I'm hopeful now that this will have a slightly more minimal RGB because the blades aren't illuminated. And I think it's going to look a little bit more Lian Lee-ish, which might help. I don't know. The truth of the matter is, it's going to be one of those things. I expect I'll be just lucky now that someone will look at the bloody listing tonight and message me tomorrow and say, "Oh, I've seen your PC on Facebook. Can I come and get it tomorrow?" It's like, well, you sort of can. I kind of changed it a little bit.
But happened last time with the changing out the graphics card, wasn't it?
Dutch Jan says, just put a big white air cooler in there. I did have a white air cooler in there, and everyone hated it. Thing is, again, like I said, it's because it's premium money, I've got to have in the title water cooled, because otherwise people just aren't going to want to pay the money. Especially the people on Facebook that are likely to buy it, because they just don't know what they're trying to buy. They just see something they like, and then that's it. It's not that I'm trying to deceive anyone or any sort of deception, but it's basically all about looks.
It's going to look really nice, except that ugly GPU.
Oh, piss off.
Well, yeah, that GPU is naff.
Dave, it's all your fault. Dave Aitken sold me that crock of shit. Never forgive him.
That water cooler was sad.
Oh, please,
That wasn't
guys,
a white cooler.
give me a break. I don't mind. I love it, really. It's all good fun, isn't it? The thing is, it's a live stream. I got basically not a lot else to do, so just experiment with a few things and see what works. Dutch Jan says that wasn't a big white cooler. It was. That was what was on there when I started the stream. A big white cooler. One of the biggest, whitest coolers. In fact, the whitest of coolers. It was very, very white. Almost neon. Founders fanboy. Yeah, that's Dave, isn't it? Stitch me up.
Barnet cam.
Barnet cam. I haven't got a Barnet. Oh, I've been on the overhead. Sorry. And that's going to be, oh, balls. Oh, well. Oh my lord, there's a lot of wires there. Right, let's get at least one screw in. Actually, what's going on there? Something's fighting me.
That gap at the top of the side fans would have been a good idea.
You guys. What is going on here? It's like this is bent or something.
Wouldn't waste my money on an ugly looking AIA.
Hello, shiny helmet. Dave Poole says, are you having 4 fans exhausting and only 2 fans intaking? No. There's 3 fans intaking and 3 fans exhausting. That one's intake, those 2 are intake, those 3 are exhaust. Almost perfectly balanced.
Rick says the heaters are out tonight.
That's right. It's fine. What else are you going to do on a Saturday night?
Make a nice cup of sleepy tea, shall I?
Not yet.
Huh?
Better not yet. Well, you can do if you want to, so it's you.
You finished yours?
They didn't even start it hardly. I hate this case. Feels like there's something not level in there. Oh well.
It may be something back in a minute.
It's all going to be alright on the night. Don't forget GPU drawing in air too. Well, the GPU doesn't really draw in air, it only draws in air from around it. It doesn't have the power to draw air in from the intakes really. It might get a little bit coming in from the bottom there, but it doesn't really have the kind of suction power to pull in much more than that.
Got a look in your cup.
Dave says three of the exhausts are fighting a radiator, so the pressure probably balances itself out quite well. Yeah, at the moment it's 3 versus 3. So intake, 2 intakes, 3 exhaust. You couldn't really get it much more equal than that, to be fair. Let's get that glass panel back in there. I've broken something here. It wouldn't surprise me. God's sakes. Why does that not want to go back in there? Right, that goes in fine if I'm there. So why does that not want to go in under there? There we go. Well, there is a screw that goes in there to hold that in place, so I might put that back in. Yeah, that was weird. Must have bent it. Oopsie. Right. It's probably because the casing it's not flat, is it? My mistake. Right, I better have a look at the instructions on this. I've only ever used this on an Intel motherboard. So accessories, Intel AMD, Intel AMD, Intel AMD, thermal paste, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Intel AMD, so AMD, oh, simples. Screw those into there. A little bit of assistance from the old socket wrench. Nope, wrong size. I just want to see what it looks like. Happy days. Right, let's get some thermal paste on. Let's crack out the old. Actually, am I going to use hydrogenol? Let's use some Acasa. Because this might be coming back out. Yeah, that's more than enough. Actually, right, let's think about wiring. So, shut up, flame. So we're going to go like that, I think, out the side for the tubes. So I want it to be that way round. And we want our AMD bracket, which is this one. Stuck. Oh, come on, which way around is this going? Now, this is where it says it only goes on one way, and I'll cry. Tubes at the bottom. Christ. Winding me up now. Right, there's one dot missing. So maybe it's that way. There we go. Well, that was a lot more aggro than I expected it to be. Yeah, that's fine. Just checking I haven't left the protective cover on, because we've all done it. I know I've done it. One, two, three. One, two, three. Let's move that out of the way. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? The only downside about having the pipes at such an angle is it's a bit difficult to get into here.
Should I keep flaming now or?
Don't mind that chair.
What do you think?
Not bothered, let them out if you want. Right, there's that done. So, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I get bored of this sometimes. Just do a couple now. That's almost cranked all the way down. That one's a bit loose. Right, so with them all tightened right the way down, then, because it's AM5, I do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. So, AM5 dislikes harsh mounting pressure. And that's fine, it's not going anywhere. But if you put too much pressure on it, it's almost guaranteed to not boot. As many of us have found out. And it sucks. And CPU fan header, pump header. That is going to be that one there at the top. Just pass the cables through. Come on. You can do it. If you B&Q it. One of the downsides of the frame on the back of this is the fact that cable management is a bit of a pain in the balls.
Crying?
Yeah.
When?
Just now to go out the door. Nothing to worry about. So there we go. There is the almost finished project. Oh, just there's something come unstuck.
It's like watching the Krypton Factor.
Well, Bill says you did the top right twice. Oh God. What, straight after themselves when I was tightening up? Or when I was undoing?
Looks ugly
Oh
hair.
yeah. Who says it looks ugly here?
You don't need to ask.
That's Jan.
Yeah.
Jan.
That's going to look good when all that lovely RGB lights up. Shame about the boring GPU though.
Oh dear. I like boring GPUs. Boring's good. Right, I'm going to do some cable management behind here a minute. So,
Willie asks, how often should I replace my CPU cooler?
well, in theory, you don't really have to do it, ever. Unless they're experiencing a problem or you dismantle it. Some people say to do it every year or so, but I don't think there's any real need to do it.
Glenn thinks you thought you did it 3 times as well, or did it wrong.
Okay. I probably did. It's been a long day.
Black white balance looks alright.
Thank you.
Those black pipes look crap.
Fuck you. Who said that? No, actually, I don't care.
Glenn says it looks alright, and David Underhill says they look crap.
David Underhill. Bad person.
An extra 3 undoing you did or something.
Oh, did I?
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It did feel a little bit loose on there, so I've tightened that back up, so it's just finger tight.
My finger bob, I hated that.
Finger bob.
Freaks me out.
Right.
I did think that. It's a symbol.
Dodgy bastards.
That GPU cable is going to snag on the bottom fans.
It might. You're actually, yeah, it might do. I don't think, yeah, the cable will for sure.
Just cut a bit of the fan blade out.
Yeah, I'll just take the blades out that size. Right, stuff all this back in here. Make sure I've connected everything that needs connecting before I stuff it back in there.
I thought the tube loop in from the back side would free up the look of the RGB on the 2 front fans. looks good. I think the pipes the other side will look 2% better.
2%? That's almost worth it. I will, this is going to be somewhat of a work in progress.
That case just looks like a window unit AC.
Don't hold back, mine. Say what you think.
We built in air fryers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before air fryers were a thing.
Hey, we used the InWin B1, so there's nothing you can say which is going to be offensive, because we've heard it all before.
Was it an A1?
Yeah.
Which is the one that looked like the...
We had the InWin A1, which was the toaster, and then we had the B1, which was the air fryer. InWin do go through some funny phases, to be fair.
I quite like them both, to be fair.
Yeah, they were nice.
More like a little oven, wasn't it? Like a microwave.
Yeah. Sort of thing you wouldn't think of as out of place in a kitchen, would you?
Dave says, looking great now, miles better, although I will be sad to see my old 3070 move on.
You can buy it back if you want.
88 watching now, are we going back in time?
89 I got here. Don't take away my extra viewers.
87.
Right, now hopefully, oh yeah, those might be a little bit squished there.
Loving some of the comments was Bill. Do 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 do.
It's always good to leave comments on videos, isn't it? And to make live comments, because everyone's got their own opinion. That's why computers are made, because
Made just for the comments.
and built just for comments. Yeah, no, it is though, isn't it? Everyone's got their own thing which they like, and that may or may not appeal to other people. If it does, great. If not, you move on.
I think Dave should get in it. That would make it look great. Not Dave the human. Cat Dave.
Right, I'm going to suitcase this on the side a minute. Yeah, that was rather uneventful. Actually, don't need that now, do I?
Trap the blue roll in it. That would make it a bit more fun.
Trap the blue roll in it.
Yeah.
Put it around one of the fan blades and wait until it unwraps the whole thing.
No, just like leave it on the top of the thing and try and put the cover on.
And there is the final thing. That's easy for me to say. Bit of thermal paste on there. Right, let's turn it on and see if it actually works. Well, it's definitely going to work, obviously. Just jinx myself.
You could wear that headlamp to bed, couldn't you? So when you go to the toilet in the night, you wouldn't have to turn the light on. You could just
Yeah.
have that on. Silvery grey on the GPU doesn't look right. No signal.
It's because I just plugged that in. Or have I just actually broken it? Oh, I have actually broken it. Well done. It did that last time because I didn't have the bloody charger plugged in. It's on. Hello. There we go. Hey!
Touchdown. Everyone has an opinion, but only mine is correct.
Haha.
Oh my Christ. Nick.
No personality GPU. I can always put the other one back in.
How about carbon wrap the top edge of the GPU? Blend or contrast nicely.
So actually I don't think that looks too bad. Whether or not it looks better, I think
Popcorn machine.
that's
Right.
hard out my fingers. That's what I wanted to do. Put those cables up there.
Daveman Oz says, "Hi Mike, when do you think the B850 motherboards might release?"
I would say January or February. I think they're going to be a little bit further off.
Dim the lights, it might be kind of slick. Shall I turn the lights off a sec?
Yeah. Oh, blimey. That's heavy now. There you go. To it back.
And the camera never makes it look as good as it does in real life.
In actual fact, it's quite nice that that cooler, there's a little trim LED. I'm not sure if you can see it. It goes around the pump.
Yeah, you can see it.
And that,
it's not clear as in real life.
That sort of matches the lines which are on the fans now. And surprisingly, there's actually quite a lot of air being brought in through there. I think that looks pretty spectacular. I'm going to read some of your comments and be upset. David Aikens coming with a £5 super chat. Says options are like farts. Just because you have one doesn't mean you need to let it out. Excellent. Roderick says I have that cooler. Glenn says at £5 a fan they are quite impressive. Thank you, Glenn. James says Aletta would love that build, all that Smurfy RGB. Very good. Greg Dodd says the white looked better for me. Sorry, lol, but I love the RGB. Fair enough. No worries. Douglas Murphy says there's your ad pic. While Bill says the fans look nice at least. Viali says yeah, very good. Nick Barnes says love the RGB effect. Thank you, Nick. Same make fans as Thermalright. Yes, it is. Skystalker says looks really good, Mike. Thank you, Skystalker. Well, Bill says I agree, Dave. Why fart and waste it when you can burp and taste it? I'm going to remember that one. I might even use it. So, I think that's worked out actually not too bad at all. I think I might like a small LED strip along this front section here just to illuminate the graphics card, being that the graphics card has zero illumination, as someone's already pointed out. But it's nice and quiet.
Hey, can't hear you over those fans.
The noisiest thing's actually the pump and the radiator.
You should get rid of that and put an air conditioner.
And the RGB effect on the side, the hologram. I don't know if I like it more, but it's certainly different. Do something about those pipes to make them look nice, I think. But I don't think that's too bad.
Mike, that ATX 24-pin LED adapter would look good there. Add a bit of light to the right of the board.
Ah, yes. I have... Where is that? That's down here somewhere.
Finally, I think it looks far better. Looks $1 million or at least 800 quid.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
So this light, Babs.
Oh, yeah, well done. Where is... I saw that RGB cable the other day and I was looking at that thinking I should use that. And there he is.
There he is.
Is that the one? Yeah, RGB cable extension.
Here it is.
Another one of Ugly Bob's creations. Let's try this and see what it looks like. I don't particularly want to take the back panel off, but let's try it.
Bang!
No, it's going to do a very controlled shutdown.
Oh, was that spark in there?
Don't worry about the sparks. It's the flames you want to be worried about.
Oh, we should remember getting spark.
God blimey, I didn't want to come out of there.
I think that's where it sparked.
I can remember my head
I
now.
was talking about the small 90-degree adapter, but the cables will...
Oh yeah, the 90-degree adapter.
customer decide. Let's see how long it takes to sell.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ricardo's off.
Cheers, Ricardo. Thanks for stopping by. I don't understand this actually. I did look at this when Bob sent it to me, and I don't think I understood it very well then. And I think I understand it less now.
Have some sleepy tea, it'll make it all much better.
Ah, sleepy tea. Is there an available addressable RGB header on the bottom of the board? Painted black, I think.
What tune did Robert think it was?
Oh god, this thing is yeah, where's the 90-degree adapter? That might be the easier solution. I don't think this thing looks like a pain in the proverbial. And it looks like that should come off.
I wonder if you can wear it up to 9-volt battery and you can wear it as a hairband.
Actually, if I disconnect that very briefly.
Paint it black.
Yes. Or the theme, I think the theme from MASH as well, wasn't it? Is it on the MASH as well?
Captain White's off. Good luck finishing the build.
Cheers, buddy. I just pressed the power button when I've not got the power connected. That was a rookie mistake. That's better. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit too much RGB for one day. It's a shame it's not a bigger case, because the way that's going to have to go through there, that's a bit of a big bend. That'd be a bit too much, I think, wouldn't it? Although, I don't think it's wide enough to go through. No, it's a shame that hole's not just a little bit bigger, and that would have been all right. Oh, we're stuck in a bloody fan.
I thought the goal today was more subtle.
Yeah, that is the goal.
You should start whistling Rolling Stones Start Me Up.
Ow, piss.
More appropriate.
Yeah, Windows 95 tune.
From the TV series Tour of Duty.
Ah, Tour of Duty, okay. I don't think I ever watched Tour of Duty, but I remember the theme tune. Anyway, we've gone for subtle, and I think we've almost achieved it. If I had another reverse fan, I think I might put maybe one on the bottom here, just to balance out maybe that a little bit. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat, Captain White, £2, subsidising Mike's PC building. And that's all right. Think of all the profits you're going to make on that fantastic bargain case you bought. An absolute cracking deal. Amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, I like these fans a lot.
I like the shape of them.
They are very, very Leanne Lee. And for £5 a pop, I'm actually tempted to drop a bit of an order on them on AliExpress and just have a bunch of them for stock. Because for £5, you can't go wrong. You really can't. And they are very quiet.
Right, Mish Tech says, sorry I'm late. Have you had trouble selling stuff on Facebook, Mike? Bloody nightmare.
Always.
In a week. Look, something's up.
Oh yeah, this it's not been not been. I'll be fair though, I only listed this probably maybe a week ago, if that. Oh, that bloody side panel's not on again properly. I think I may have bent this in some way, shape or form. better a good steal than a bad idea. Yeah. What have I done here?
Last man standing says any chance of links to all to AliExpress stuff you buy, Mike?
Yeah, most of it's in the videos,
In the description.
in the video descriptions. Those are affiliated links, so we do make a small commission, although we
Not
don't
on
on AliExpress. I think I have broken this case, you know.
Oh, I have to put it all in a new case.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't want to go in there at all. There's like a little hook at the bottom, 2 of them, there and there, which go into these little runners. I got a sneaking suspicion. Oh, bollocks, yeah, that's what it is. That AIO is too big, and it's pushed out that feckin' thing. Yes, that's why it's not locking in properly. Bollocks. It says it takes a 360mm AIO. So I think what I need to do is to loosen the screws off a little and push it very slightly the other way. Or if not, this is something else which is up with the Tecware bloody cases. I feel really bad because Tecware are like one of those companies which are trying to do something, and they're like a UK company, or at least the ones that we deal with are. So it feels really bad, like ever bad mouthing them, but sometimes you just got to say it as it is.
Bill, I've just put the link in.
Bill, Cass, put the link in
For the fans.
for the fans. Yeah, I need to cut that out there. I might wreck this now.
Can't make too much noise.
I'm going to use pliers. Get the Shakademus on it. Considering that I'm not drinking coffee anymore, I feel alright.
Funny.
Oh. Okay. Right, let's turn that off.
Doing the review.
No, that was another case. But the effect is very similar.
Well, Bill said that about 30 minutes ago.
Did he? I missed that.
And then asking for the link, I think. Maybe. I think it seems to be
I've wrecked that now. Let's see if that works. I've got a sneaking suspicion this case is going to end up in the trash.
Is there a hammer in that toolkit?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking that. That's not a good design.
Can't see what you're doing there. Turn it round.
You don't want to see. You really don't.
Usually I wouldn't mind, but I think it's quite good to see this. Those fans are at 80p now.
Yeah, if you've never ordered before, you can get them for 80p. Right, let's see if that works now.
Oh, it's like something sliding, like see glass sliding there. I don't think it can actually. can't I? It is sliding, isn't it?
Right.
I'm a bit behind it. Probably slid half an hour ago.
Yeah, those slots are actually... I think I've ruined it. I think I've actually genuinely ruined this case.
Well, that's next week's stream then.
Yeah. Those bin men are going to love me, aren't they? What's he throwing out this week? No, that has definitely had it. So the only thing I can do is drill those bits out at some point and actually remove those and then just permanently stick the glass in. Wonder if I can... It's very flimsy. I'm not really using the right tools for the job either.
You could replace that AIA with a nice white cooler.
I wish I had. Once we get that to grip in there, it'll be alright.
Well, you've certainly managed to reduce the value. Mission complete.
Oh, come on, just lock in place, please.
Where'd it all go out?
It's gone into sleep mode.
Those fans come to £7 each after taxes and delivery. Worth it over some RGB Thermalright fans like?
I don't know. That's a tough one. The Thermalright ones are actually really good value as well. So I wouldn't say definitely yes or definitely no, really.
Open the side window to get better access. But you haven't got a side window on, have you?
Yeah. So you see that bit there. Spin it around. So that's the bit it latches into, and as you can see, I've bent this now quite spectacularly. All in the name of science. Can't really see if that's going in or not. Right, that's got to be straight. So. It's very annoying.
Bit of chewing gum in there will hold it.
I have got the world's strongest sellotape. Like that. Oh, you shithead.
Can you remove any of the top screws and just hold the AIO with less to give you more top adjustment stroke slide?
Yeah, I think what I'd need to do is get it onto a flat surface and just hammer it down from the inside, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do right now.
Right here.
Actually, that got it? No. That's very close. Just needs to go in a millimetre more. This may be the first stream where I smash some tempered glass.
Hurry up, stupid thing. I want to go to bed. Don't know if that's you or the case.
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Wouldn't it be better to bend the shit out of the back end where it can function as a door latch?
That's the only place where it does function as a latch, so I got really not a lot of choice. Ah, there we go. Perfect. That actually felt like it latched in properly. Happy days. Right, let's get it all packed together quick before anyone notices.
Maybe turn the AIO the other way round.
It's
Bend it like Beckham. Snap. Yay.
I think it's because I realised what I've done now. I think in the review I did say about what size AIOs this will actually take, and I didn't consider that at all, and I just put in the AIO that I had, which is not the right size. So that is very much on me, unfortunately. There you go.
Maybe Mike's unboxing without cock-ups.
Hey, that's what we're here for. Well, the case is being given away anyway, so.
Take it out and try it again.
No. It's staying where it is. At least for now. On the site, the 360 is at the top. That's exactly right. Most 360s fit. But I got a sneaking suspicion the Colink Void is 402 mil.
Site 360 is at the top.
Yeah, I just said that. Where's the dimensions? I think this one is slightly longer than some. Where's the damn dimensions? Nope. I keep on looking and it's not there. No, it must be on the instruction manual. Anyway, I think we've done everything that I've tried to achieve tonight. He says. Shiny helmet says bend it like Beckham. Let's turn the lights back on. Where's my chair? Oh, there we go. Right, I think we should wrap things up there, because I think I've done everything I need to do. I made a couple of mistakes along the way, clearly. But that's right, I can remedy that. I will tidy that up, or I might even try and find a smaller AIO, although I don't think it really needs it. It's absolutely fine. And best of all, I can now let this sell considerably cheaper. So rather than being like £1,000, I can probably do this for like $750, which is 25% discount. And still actually a pretty decent PC. I am slightly considering changing the case though. But I don't know if I will now after all of this hassle, because I think what's done is done. So I'll have to take some pictures tomorrow, I think. So maybe have a look at your comments and questions. And then, where's that noise come from? I think one of those fans has got a bit of a buzz to it. Oh well, never mind. That case flexes better than our Schwarzenegger. Question, maybe turn the AOA the other way around. The thing is, it's still going to take up the same physical dimensions, and actually it worked out better this way, because otherwise the pipes were fighting against the fan at the back. But yeah, good idea. That's gone in. Dave Aiken says, Brian will be making a video on how to bend your PC case with pliers next week. He will. Oh dear. It's void. It is void of dimensions, void of informations and dimensions. Zero defects says it's definitely an improvement. Thank you. I hope it is. I'm in and out putting the graphics card back in, but no, I think it'll stay. Dutch Jan says the fans on the side could be lowered. Well, now that we're not going to be putting a, or possibly not putting fans in the bottom, I could drop that back down a bit and give it a bit of space at the top, because I don't think it would notice, especially now we've got that in there.
Yeah, because if you look there, it's like a lot of fans off at the top. Right?
Yeah. So I think, yeah, I think actually we probably will drop the fans back down to their normal position, or at least lower anyway. They've actually got RGB all around the sides of these fans, so there is, yeah, RGB bleed on there. Even that hasn't got the infinity mirror, it's still got some on the other side. So if I drop them down, it will actually show off the lighting a bit. So it might be quite nice anyway. Oh, we've lost the display. Right.
Will it blend? Will
it blend? I'd hope so. Douglas Murphy says, I came along halfway through. What were the changes that made
it cheaper?
Oh yeah, the GPU was the biggest change really. Arguably the fans, sort of. These fans, £5 each roughly. So 6 of them, 30 quid. Yeah, 30 quid. Whereas the Thermaltake CT120s, which were in there, they're I think they're 30 quid for a pair. Or 25 quid for a pair. And there's 6 of those, so 75 quid versus 30 quid. So that's a significant saving. Although that isn't really taken into the equation because those are kind of free anyway with the case. The graphics card is the biggest change. So I paid 250 for that. I paid 400 give or take for the RX6800. So £150 less. So it was at 950, take off £100, £150 to 800 quid. Probably maybe let it go for like 750 or something just to get rid of it really. Which I think for 750 with a Ryzen 7 7700, DDR5 RAM, an AIO, a decent graphics card, it's actually a nice PC and there's a lot to like about it if you like the style and the design and if you've got that sort of money to have a PC. I think it's going to sell much quicker, but the proof will be in the pudding because I will list it tomorrow. I will leave the other listing in place and then I can contrast the two and see what the outcomes are like. I think the AIO was a good decision. I think putting the white fans onto the black AIO has certainly helped. I don't think the black tubes are too much of a problem and I think it all kind of blends in. There's enough white in there, enough black kind of centrally. We've got quite a lot of black going on there. Black RAM, black pump, black tubes, black-ish graphics card. So all the black is kind of centralized in the middle. And then we've got areas of grey, silver and white and obviously the lighting around it, which I think is actually okay. I like it. Lower the price a little bit. Let's turn this off. Lockie says, Mike, are you from Bristol, mate? Yes, I am. Nick Barnes says, cracking deal for someone. That's the idea. Hopefully it will be. Dutch Jan says, for 750, it's a cracking build. The thing is, the processor itself, I paid 150 for it. So I'm going to charge 150 for it. Whereas you try getting a Ryzen 7 7700 anywhere other than AliExpress when their sales are on for that money. You won't get it. You won't get it because you just can't. So, and the fact that I've bought it, I've tested it, it works. It's a known quantity, so you're kind of removing that risk because I've already taken that risk for you. So yeah, for 750, I think it's you'd struggle to beat it. I think if I put it on for 800, I thought it would do it. Lockie, I thought so. Fellow Bristolian, awesome. Nice to see a Bristolian in the chat. There's a couple of you in there. Slightly lowered will improve ARGB looks for sure, says Nick Barnes. Excellent. David Andrews says Mike's wrecking modding cases channel. It's getting that way. David Andrews says for 750, good deal. Wild Bill says it looks nice, Mike. Stop trying to convince yourself. Yeah. Colin Hilton says those ugly black tubes spoil the look of a nice build. Yeah, I think they're not for everyone. Hopefully the tubes will be the thing that draw the punters in. Then if they decide to change it after, they can basically do whatever they like with it. I don't care. As long as it goes. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's stream. It's been emotional in more ways than one. Thank you all for your continued support, your super chats, and your contributions on the videos. Don't forget, if you want to see more about this particular PC, if you watch Friday's video, you'll see the whole thing, the pricing and all that kind of stuff. So you get a bit of a better idea of where or why these changes have done, because it basically just doesn't want to sell. But then I don't think PCs are selling anyway regardless. It's just the way things are, and I don't think Computex has done much to help that with a whole bunch of new, more expensive stuff. And £150 for a Noctua D15 Mark II, which is 2 to 3 degrees better than the last one. Yay. Can't wait. Anyway, that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video, where hopefully I'll be able to tell you that this thing is sold. Hopefully. Anyway, thanks again everyone, and we'll see you on Monday, or see you tomorrow in the Discord. Have a great weekend. Cheers. Bye. Say bye, Calf.